wonderful weekend. It's so beautiful in the high 10, a little gusty outside, but sunny. Please check my community page for said updates, breaking news, suggestions, polls. We will chop it up during the live stream pertaining to Adam Montgomery. He has received a sentence for the unaliving murder of his girl child, Harmony Montgomery. Also, I want to recap on Kayla's situation. As most of you know, she agreed to a plea agreement by the state to give information pertaining to the abuse and unaliving of the said child. And I'm going to recap that. And then we're going to hear from the bio mother who spoke at his sentence yesterday. In 2022, Kayla reached a plea agreement to testify against Adam Montgomery. She answered several questions about the crime she committed, what she has learned while in prison, and her plans for the future. Kayla Montgomery is serving time for lying to a grand jury. She later revealed that she witnessed the 5-year-old's death and helped the girl's father hide her body. If I was honest from the beginning, they could have done their job sooner to find Harmony. Know what happened to her, she said. She will be released in May after completing mandated programs in prison. She'll be under supervision when released. And once again, as most of you know, Adam Montgomery was found guilty in the killing of Harmony and will be sentenced in May, which took place yesterday. The thing I find interesting about the commentary here, where she says, if I was honest from the beginning, they could have done their job sooner to find Harmony. Who are you speaking of? The police? They could have found her? How are they going to find her if you spoke sooner? Finding her would be dependent on the father, which most of you who are following this content, he was offered a lesser sentence if he told where the child is. And once again, looking around, comatose, nothing to say. So you're not even willing to try to salvage some bit of a life to possibly be granted parole or get out. You don't want these people to know because you don't want to own that you killed the child because you put all the blame on Kayla. I find both of you guilty in my eye because too many people were witnesses to the abuse of the child. So this is where I have the problem. So her saying, oh, well, had I said something sooner, said what? You mean said something when he first got her and when he started beating the little girl up? Slapping her around, throwing her around, God knows what else you all were doing to her, because we really don't know what all went on in that household. We really don't have an actual date of death. I'm not even banking on this December 7th nonsense because you're dealing with two pathological liars. And you help him carry a dead baby around for months. So if you'll lie about what went on in that house, you know, I mean, I don't even know how to word it. It's an old saying, you lie about one thing, you lie about another. And the dates don't add up just from the content I brought you about, the police stopping them 2 times in that week. And on the date that you're acting like, you know, she got gone or died, that's the same day that you all were stopped by the police and the child wasn't even in the vehicle. And the cop gave that information. It's in his police report. So where was she? You got your 2 kids, you got your other kids with you, but she's not in the car the second time you all get pulled over by the police. So where was she at? See, that's my point. It's no telling when she died. And as I told you all, in my last live streams pertaining to this case, the fact that we've got our uncle saying he saw the child beat up in the eye, CPS called, the house was getting ready to be foreclosed or whatever because the grandmama took off to Florida. They're disputing over whatever's left in the house. They're staying in the house with no electricity. Then they get a generator. You know, all type of nonsense. You don't know when that little girl died. Because you don't have anybody who can verify to say, yeah, I saw her on this day. The only person that spoke up to say, oh, she was here Thanksgiving was Kayla's mother. Well, she's going to cover for her daughter. She's going to cover for her daughter. So we don't really know when the little girl died. And that's how I feel. And some of you in the chat have said, you think the girl died in October. Hey, I'm with you. Because the dope man, he can't tell you much. Just, oh yeah, I see him, blah, 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 throw my hand up, they speak. That means nothing to me either. Once again, Mr. Montgomery was found guilty for the unaliving of his daughter. He has received his sentence. We're going to now hear content from the bio mother. We're also going to hear from the siblings' fathers, the children, the other siblings that belong to the bio mother. They're not in her custody. They were adopted out, and two men adopted those said children, and they got their chance to speak in court. There was a little bit of controversy about them speaking, and as I put on my post, you know, it's usually first dibs to immediate family, you know, to speak at a sentence hearing. That's just usually the way the system works. It's not to say you're not important because you adopted children or you're raising other children of a victim, but they like to let people speak who are immediately had dealings with the said children or victim, excuse me. Once again, Kayla will be getting out this month from prison. I believe she should have gotten more time. That's my personal opinion. Let's hear from the bio mother. Thank you for joining me. If you'd like to donate to this great network, $BeganG129 Cash App. Signature chats always welcome to the live stream. Second part of this live is pertaining to Sebastian Rogers. That content will be News Nation. There's a lot of craziness going on YouTube right now pertaining to he said, she said, YouTubers, what the YouTuber said, what the YouTuber didn't do. This is where I don't like none of this. This is Summer Wells 10.0. He said, she said, hold the bag, give the bag. You know, it's like playing touch football with these YouTubers, searchers, the Proudfoot, Seth, PI's spokesperson. It's so pathetic right now. It's so pathetic what is transpiring right now. Okay? It's the way it is. Honey, I ain't got time for that today.
To the monster who murdered my baby. I did not kill my daughter, and I look forward to trial to refute those offensive claims. That is all you have said about my sweet daughter's life. Another lie, like all the other ones you've told.
Thank you.
Like the cover story you told that you dropped her off with me, knowing full well and good if you had, she would be thriving right now. Not beaten and stuffed in a CMC bag where you put her. She had a life worth living, unlike your own. And it bothered you to your core that she was nothing like you and everything like me. Beautiful inside and out, funny, smart, sassy, loving, and most of all, kind. She wasn't a coward like you, and I'll be forever grateful for that. You're a coward who has to be in control of everything and everyone around you, insecure and paranoid. The list goes on. She is none of those things. She lit up a room when she walked in. She made a mark wherever she went, and you couldn't stand it. She was an incredible big sister. She loved her brother, Jameson, to her core, and I know she loved your sons too, no matter the picture you tried to paint of her. December 7th will forever be the darkest day of my life. The night you beat her to death, I woke up in the middle of the night in agonizing pain, from my head to my toes, and I felt like I was dying, not knowing, in the most brutal way, a part of me was dying. Suffering in that back seat for 20 minutes while you and your wife fed yourselves and your other children, and you got high. 20 minutes that you could have used to save her life. Did she cry for me? Did she scream? Did she beg you to stop? I'll never know. Because like I said, you're too much of a coward to tell the truth and do one good thing for Harmony. You may have taken her physically from me, but she is always, always with me. And I will forever look for her until the end of my days. But I hope that every day and every night you are on this earth, you hear nothing but my baby's giggle. I doubt you ever heard it in this life. All she knew with you was misery and fear. I hope you hear her sweet voice telling you to stop hitting her over and over, or how she looked the very last time you saw her, broken and bruised. You were supposed to protect her, yet you did the opposite. Harmony wasn't anything to you but property.
Thank you, Sandra.
Throw away when she was more of a burden to you than a meal ticket. Your hatred for me led you to act on your ways, and you took her because you just could not let her come home where she belongs. My love for Harmony outweighs my hatred for you, but they both gave me the strength to listen to my instincts and to help the police put you away forever. Harmony will live on through me, and you can't do anything about it. You can't do anything to stop it. I wish you nothing but pain and misery for the rest of your pathetic life, and with or without you, we will find my daughter. I always knew you weren't a good person, which is why I left you. I just never knew to what extent, but now I know you're just plain evil.
Ten Boston is the source. Wow, wow, wow. What? Some of you still may have some questions, doubts, even about the bio mother, how she lost all her children, because in the end, this is sad and pathetic that these children were bouncing around from her custody, back and forth, unhealthy. Doesn't matter who gets the children, it's unhealthy. It's unhealthy for children to go back and forth. That's how Harmony got with Adam and Caleb. This woman could not stay off of drugs. That's how she lost her other two children. Then you got to think about Kayla's children. Her mother has her children. Fortunately, her children were able to be raised by her mother. I don't know if the mother, the grandmother's doing a great job with those kids because she's an older lady. So, you have to factor all those things in. When children get shifted around, thrown around from place to place, who's the better person to raise them? All these children, to me, it's like, woo, rolling the dice. Pray that they get a good upbringing. And this woman has to feel terrible that all her children are gone. And the one thing I don't do is make excuses. Now, you placed your child up for adoption for whatever reason, that is your choice. Because like I said, everybody's circumstances are not the same. But when you start doing that shuffling back and forth with the state, I can't have any sympathy for you. Because it's too many times. She went back and forth at least 4 times between this mother and foster parents. And at the end, I played you content of the woman who had her allegedly last. She testified at court. There was more to the story, even with her. Because she said, without going into detail about her rearing this little girl, there were times it was difficult. And I knew then, I said, oh, here we go. More bullshit. What are you saying? She said, trying to deal with the state and this and that. So she didn't elaborate, and I didn't like that. Because it's like, if you got something you want to say about rearing the little girl, tell us what happened. We've already heard enough craziness, yes, but we'd like to know what was going on when you were taking care of her. Was there a problem? Was she starting to act out? Was she withdrawn? what was going on? We don't know. We really don't know anything because you're getting versions from liars, which was is Kayla. The father won't say anything. Here's a man who wouldn't even take a plea to get less time in prison for the murder of his child in exchange for telling the state where he put her. That shows you how cold Adam Montgomery is. He won't even savor his own livelihood because he's used to prison. He's used to jail. He's used to getting in trouble. So really, he's comfortable where he is. When you can stand in court and look around and stare down at the paper and act like, you huffing and puffing, you wouldn't even go to your own trial. You were telling us everything we need to know about your relationship with Harmony. You never cared for her. You didn't really have a relationship with this bio mother. She says here that she left him. She knows why she left him. My understanding, it wasn't even a relationship. Now, I'm not here to argue what went on between she and Adam, but when you go back months ago at the trial, my understanding, there was no relationship between she and Adam. The way they made it sound like it was just, sex. He went his way, she went hers. And I'm not here to argue who broke up with whom, but I think the proof is in the pudding. There was no relationship with him because when she was born, he was incarcerated for a couple of months until he got out. So she really didn't know her father. And then he would bounce her back and forth as well, in and out of her life, in and out of her life. Then the little girl was going back and forth between the mother and the state. So everybody was doing their own thing. Are you paying attention? Everybody was doing their own thing. She was getting high on drugs. Keep the little girl, then call the state, come get her. He was doing the same thing. One minute he talked to the little girl, be with her, then next thing you know, nobody heard from him. So all this time, it was a vicious merry-go-round pertaining to this life of this little girl. And then something jumps off with her. Here comes Adam. So the state didn't do any background check where he was living, because it was two different states. So they just give him the little girl. Here, take her. And for all we know, she was probably getting abused as soon as she got in his house. And then you got to remember, he's not keeping a job. He's not working. He's not doing anything. Kayla, she may have worked on and off. So she was the breadwinner. And she's in this abusive relationship. They're both drug users. So you got a bio mother getting high. You got a bio father getting high. You got a stepmama getting high. Other children. What kind of life was this? And then they're living in a house with other people who are probably getting high too. Irresponsible. They don't care about themselves. They ain't gonna care about this little girl or them kids. They need money. And that's the very reason why, boom, grandmama had to get some damn why. Probably tired of taking care of all these grown-ass adults that ain't nothing but some junkies. And when you saw the uncle talking to News Nation in one of his interviews, he looked like he was, I didn't know if he was homeless or what was going on. I thought, why are you talking to Banfield in the damn rain? Who does this? This is showing you how chaotic the lives were at that house. It's no telling what those children saw. I'm not gonna just say Harmony, because other children were involved too. It's no telling what those children saw, what they witnessed, what was done to them. And there's no such thing as a favorite, because if you're abusive to one as a parent, guardian, you are no good to the ones that you act like you love more or care for more. That's my take. WMUR TV is the next source pertaining to the fathers who have adopted the other children belonging to the bio mother. They did get to speak in court at Mr. Montgomery's hearing to express how this debacle of the daughter being murdered, the sister rather, has affected the children. Thank you for joining me.
He is a 7-year-old boy who came to us from foster care. Jameson and his sister, Harmony, were in and out of different foster homes together. They seem to be on a path of surviving their troubling relationships, their circumstances together. To understand the true impact that this loss has had on Jameson and will continue.
Let me say this to SJ in the chat. They do get drugs in prison. Ask Gypsy Rose. That's why I found it weird when she said, oh, I was getting high when I got there or something. And I thought, what do you mean you're getting high? Because I was looking at the years when they were talking about when she first entered jail and prison. So for those of you who don't know about prison life, whatever you hear about life out here, it goes on in there. The only difference about prison is that they can't roam freely, but they have flat screens, they get drugs, they have access to cell phones, they barter with their goods and money and cards, and they do fraudulent things with cash apps, date site frauds. They do everything that they were doing when they were free. And they hustle more in there because they need commissary, food, so on and so forth. Thank you for joining me.
Continue to impact him. You need to hear the stories he tells us and wants you to know.
No, they're not.
He wants everyone to know. When we first adopted Jameson, he would always tell us about Harmony.
Wow.
He would tell us about her beautiful blonde hair. He would tell us about her glasses. He still does.
Wow.
He would tell us about her bright blue eyes. He would tell us about her wonderful smile that lit up a room. He would tell us that she was there to help him. And Jameson has constantly asked us, where's Harmony? Recently, he once was struggling to go to bed. He looked off in the shadows of his closet and said, is that Harmony there, looking back at me? These are no questions for a little boy to be asking.
Let's go
He
back
no
to
longer.
that. Let's go back to that.
Recently, he once was struggling to go to bed. He looked off in the shadows of his closet and said, is that Harmony there?
How emotional is this to listen to a child small and they remember their sister. He remembers his sister. One night he can't get to sleep and he's asking for his sister. There are no words for this. Is that my sister? Wow. You don't hear that every day. Because, depending on the age of a child, when they're separated from, their mother, brothers, and sisters, they may soon to forget, especially if they're, really, really small. They may not remember things about their brothers and sisters or their parents. This is a lot because those children were younger, if I'm not mistaken, than Harmony, if I'm not mistaken.
Looking back at
Thank
me.
you. 1 second.
These are no questions for a little boy to be asking. He no longer could hold on to that hope. Since learning about the death of innocent and beautiful Harmony, Jameson has suffered. Just a few weeks ago in school, his teacher asked him to draw a picture of his family. He drew a picture of his 2 dogs, his 2 brothers, his 2 dads, but then he put a heart above all of us, and inside that heart was the letter H. He said that was Harmony looking down on us. Jameson constantly asks us, who took my sister away? Adam, you took away his best friend, his sister. You introduced murder into his life and forever created a void that can never be filled.
Wow.
We will never have the right answers for him on this and can only tell him Harmony is an angel now. Jameson will grow up forever wondering how this happened, how his sister, who looked over him in foster care, didn't have anyone looking over her.
Exactly.
You chose, Adam, to take our little boy's sister away. You don't ever deserve another choice in a free society. Your Honor, we are asking you to impose the maximum sentence.
Your Honor, this courtroom, and especially Adam, I'm Jonathan Bobbitt Miller, and I'm the proud adopted dad of Jameson Miller, the proud young brother of Harmony. Harmony is the reason that we're all here today. Harmony, the child, Adam, that you murdered, you introduced a nightmare into our son. You introduced evil of this world to him. You have manipulated the criminal justice system until now, and trying to explain that to our 7-year-old son is hard. Before Jameson knew of Harmony's tragic fate, he would go to the door when the doorbell rung, and he would say, maybe she's found me. He would search a park, he would look at school, and if there was any girl that had blonde hair and glasses, he would go up to them and say, are you Harmony? I'll never forget the day that we told Jameson that Harmony was in heaven. He's a very active kid, and that day he just stopped and he held us and he said, no, I need my big sister. Why? Why did this happen? These are questions that Jameson has had and continues to ask. Daddy and Dada, what happened to my sister? Why did she die? Why would anyone hurt her?
Exactly.
How about her glasses? Are they okay?
Oh my goodness.
My God, how will we ever help him process this horrible and brutal details of his big sister. Adam, you have to know you did that.
Oh, goodness. Brief intermission. I have no words. I have no words for this.
With the Mickey and Minnie Mouse theme, we had Mickey Mouse there. It's a Disney theme that he shares with his big sister and his mom. He wanted to save a gift from her that day, made from his Nana. It was a Minnie Mouse pillow, but instead, you were beating her to death. That was the same day.
Oh, boy.
If Jameson was old enough to speak to this court today, he would want you to know the void that you left in his heart that can never be filled. Adam, he would plead with you to please tell us where she is. Let him have a place to go and remember his sister, please. He remembers her feeding him. He remembers when they would be at his foster home when she was there, that they would play in the park together. He remembers her glasses. He remembers how proud she was. How do we tell our 7-year-old that you murdered his sister, his protector, his best friend, and you showed no remorse? I wish they could be happy together today. Jameson asked, is she unhappy in heaven? If she can see him, and if we can visit her, why would anyone hurt her? That's what you've done to her son when you beat his sister to death. In our family, we really believe in love and forgiveness. I'm just not sure how to teach her son how to forgive the monster that murdered his sister.
Yeah.
We as a family are leaning on God for that. Jameson also knows about the helpers. He knows about this court. He knows about the jury. He knows about the police from the local to federal. He knows about this community. We've told him these were the people that helped his sister when she was hurting. I'd like to share with you a few words that Jameson, as we were talking to him, because he wanted to know, where are you guys going? What are you doing? And I said, we're going to speak for your sister, and we're going to tell everyone how important she was to you. And this is what he said. Tell everyone my name is Jameson. I'm 7 years old. My sister's Harmony. I love Harmony. I miss her. I hope I get to see her again. My sister had beautiful blue eyes, and we smile alike. I liked having fun with her on the playground. She gave me a broken Elmo toy that was hers. I still have that, but I have the Minnie Mouse pillow and a new Elmo that's not broken. I keep it in my closet for her. I'm really sad she's an angel. I miss her. She was my best friend. I hope she can see me playing basketball, being silly with my brothers. And I wish I could bring Harmony to my school to meet my friends and my teacher. She loves the color purple and Minnie Mouse. I made a heart for her in purple and red with mirrors so I can look for her in heaven. I hope she sees me. The red is for my heart and the purple is for her. I love my sister. I miss her. I hope she's eating M&Ms in heaven. I hope her glasses are safe and not broken. And I miss you, and I will always love you, big sister. Thank you, Your Honor.
Oh, wow. WMUR is the source of that information. The two men that you heard speaking are the fathers of Jameson Miller, the younger brother of Harmony Montgomery. As someone in the chat said, this is something a child shouldn't even be talking about. A child should not be asking, what happened to my sister? It would be different if the child died naturally, was sick, had cancer. But she wasn't sick that we know of. How do you explain to a child that the child that they're inquiring about, their own sister, was beat to death by her father? You can't. Death is a very tricky subject because every child isn't equipped to understand death. But as you see, these fathers have told this boy child where they're going and what they had to do today, or yesterday, excuse me. amazed the child has the memory that he has. He's only 7. You got to remember, this was years ago when he was last with his sister before being adopted by these 2 men. So to have a memory and always speak of her in a positive light, always talking about her glasses, that's love. That's the thing about children. They have unconditional love because they don't see the things that we see in human beings. A child will love an abuser. A child will love a sadist, a murderer, because they don't know any better. And as you hear this gentleman speaking, hopefully, they can reach some point of forgiveness, forgiving Adam Montgomery for unaliving his own child. They teach their children, this boy child, to love, to forgive. But forgiveness takes time. Sometimes it never comes. But as the scripture says, God forgave us. So this is why he wants us to forgive others. But it is hard, especially when you're talking about this type of crime. You're talking about beating a child to death. You had no reason to beat a child. There's no reason to unalive a child. That's just the bottom line. I don't care what's wrong with the child. And some children are difficult. Yes, they are. And usually children are difficult because of their background, because of where they come from, their gene pool. Everything forms your identity to why you act the way you act. You talk the way you talk. Well, what can you do about it? You're a child. Nothing. That was some wonderful, wonderful, wonderful statements made by these 2. But the sad part of the story, the pathetic part of this, it went in one ear and out of the other. That man doesn't care anything about himself. That's why he couldn't care about Harmony. He never cared for Kayla. He never cared for the children he had with Kayla. He never cared for this woman, the bio mother. He wouldn't even go to his own damn trial. That should tell you something. But they made his ass go to this damn sentencing. Let's give you the rundown of Adam Montgomery's sentence. Thank you for joining me. Boston.com is the source. Yes, unbelievable. Absolutely unbelievable. That shows you right there, he's cut from a different cloth. You don't even want to, take the plea to tell everybody where the child is. So this little boy can go somewhere and speak and talk to his sister. But see, that's the whole point. There's probably nothing of the child. You understand what I'm saying? Because it's creepy when you start talking about disposing of a body and going to that place. It's creepy. There's probably nothing of her. For all we know, he broke her down, because we learned that during trial. She was broken down. So she's probably scattered here, scattered there, scattered here, scattered there. You understand what I'm saying? She's probably a whole lot of places. Just saying. Adam Montgomery sentenced to a minimum of 56 years in daughter Harmony's murder. The sentence will be added on to the minimum of 32 and a half years sentence. Montgomery, 34, began last year in unrelated gun charges. A New Hampshire man convicted of killing his 5-year-old daughter and moving her corpse around for months before disposing. One second. These pop-ups. Before disposing of it, was sentenced Thursday to a minimum of 56 years in prison on murder and other charges, as relatives of the child called him a monster. That sentence will be added on to a minimum of 32 and a half years sentence. Adam Montgomery, 34, began last year on unrelated gun charges, effectively amounting to a life sentence following his actions in the death of Harmony Montgomery. Police believe she was killed nearly 2 years before she was reported missing in 2021. Wow. Her body was never found. A prosecutor offered to lessen the sentence for the second-degree murder conviction and other charges if Montgomery tells us right now the location of his daughter's remains. Montgomery, who has maintained his innocence in the death of his daughter, did not speak in the Manchester courtroom. His attorney later called the offer a stunt and said Montgomery's silence should not be interpreted as a lack of remorse. Well, how else are we supposed to interpret it? He didn't want to go to his own damn trial. He was offered a plea to tell of a lesser sentence to tell the state where the girl's body is And you gonna sit here and tell us, oh, this is a stunt y'all pulling in the court. No, sir, the stunt that's been pulled is by your client. Your client didn't even want to show up in court. You're sitting here battling for his life, and he doesn't even have the decency, some form of decency to respect the court and go in there and show he wants to live. So, sir, you got it twisted. There's no stunt by the state, because the state didn't have to offer him a damn thing. The state could let it ride. Hey, we're going to give him all, we're going to give him, and we ain't worried about if he tell us what his little girl is. Because Kayla basically told us they were breaking the girl's body down in the bathtub. So we have no idea where he took her, what was left of her, where he took her. He probably took it different places. Who's to say? The audacity. Wow, the audacity of this attorney. Once again, he didn't speak in the courtroom, and his attorney said this was a stunt. Called the offer a stunt. Yeah, okay. People who knew Harmony Montgomery spoke about the happy, kind child they once knew. She had a life worth living, unlike your own. Crystal Sorey, Harmony's mother, read from a statement addressing Adam Montgomery, her hand shaking. And it bothered you to your core that she was nothing like you and everything like me. Sorey added, I will forever look for her until the end of my days, but I hope that every day and every night here on this earth, you hear nothing but my baby's giggle. The parent who adopted Harmony's brother, now 7, spoke on his behalf, as you just heard here in court. I'm really sad. She's an angel. I miss her, they quoted him as saying. Montgomery did not attend his trial in February. He was ordered by the judge to be in court Thursday after his lawyer asked for him to be excused. Are you hearing this? The same lawyer saying the state put on a stunt by offering him a plea to tell what the little girl is to get a lesser sentence, and you still gonna go before the judge and say, my client don't want to show up, but don't judge him. Huh? Don't judge him. It don't mean he ain't got remorse for the little girl. You don't want to go to trial, and you don't want to go to your sentence, but we shouldn't judge you in thinking you don't have remorse for your child. Because you don't love yourself. That's why the little girl's gone. You never loved yourself. Wow, I'm gone. Once again, he was ordered by the judge to be in court Thursday after his lawyer asked for him to be excused. Montgomery also had pleaded not guilty to charges of second-degree assault and witness tampering. He had admitted to abuse of a corpse and falsifying evidence. Judge Amy Messer noted that Montgomery had an extensive criminal record that dates back to 2008 and that he had extensive opportunities to change his life. Your extreme indifference to the value of human life seen in so many of your actions. Messer said the only way to keep Montgomery from hurting others is to keep him off the streets. To the extent you seek to rehabilitate yourself, that will have to happen behind the prison walls, she said. An email seeking comment on the sentence and asking about a possible appeal was sent to Montgomery's lawyer, Carolyn Smith. And I do believe that is the reason why he won't admit to murdering the child, is because he's going to exhaust every appeal that's afforded to him as a suspect, convicted person. And that's what he's doing. Gang recognized gang. I'm going to exhaust every appeal. And then, and only then, maybe I'll tell you where she is. I'll own that I killed my kid. But I will not confess to murder until every appeal has been exhausted, until something pops up that a jury member went and said this, told this, there's something done wrong. Because you know what happens with these trials, something comes up that somebody didn't do something, whatever, and boom, he gets an appeal. He knows exactly what he's doing. He has learned the law from being a criminal in and out of the system. So he's never going to tell you he killed that kid and where she is. He's going to exhaust every appeal. When he realizes that there's nothing he can do, He has sat in there a long time, 10, 15 years or whatever, however long it takes to do the appeals. Then he'll decide to talk to News Nation, A&E or somebody, Netflix, and give the goods on his life. Yeah, I'll go ahead and talk now. Yes, it's a very sick world. Because this is what they do to criminals. They learn the system. You keep in and out, in and out, in and out, in and out. You learn the system. Hell no, I ain't gonna tell nobody I killed my kid, I killed my wife. I gotta get those appeals done first. If I gotta sit in here 10 years, 12, let me do every appeal. And then when they say, oops, no more appeals, I might talk. Wow, wow, wow. Once again, an email seeking comment on the sentence asking about a possible appeal was sent to Carolyn Smith, Mr. Montgomery's lawyer. His estranged wife, Kayla Montgomery, had testified that her family, including her 2 young sons with Adam, had been evicted right before Thanksgiving in 2019 and were living in a car. She said on December 7th, Adam Montgomery punched Harmony Montgomery at several stoplights as they drove from a methadone clinic to a fast food restaurant because he was angry that the child was having bathroom accidents in the car. I wonder why. After that, she said she handed food to the children in the car without checking on Harmony, and that the couple later discovered she was dead after the car broke down. She testified that her husband put the body in a duffel bag. She described various places where the girl's body was hidden, including the trunk of a car, a cooler, a homeless center ceiling vent, and the walk-in freezer at her husband's workplace. And that indeed took the cake. During Adam Montgomery's trial, his lawyer suggested that Kayla continue to lie to protect herself, and I agree. They said their client did not kill Harmony and that Kayla Montgomery was the last person to see the child alive. Kayla Montgomery testified that she didn't come forward about the child's death because she was afraid of her husband. She said Adam Montgomery suspected that she might go to the police, so he began punching her, giving her black eyes, she said. She eventually ran away from him in March of 2021. Kayla Montgomery was recently granted parole. She's expected to be released from prison soon after serving an 18-month sentence. She pleaded guilty to perjury charges related to the investigation into the child's disappearance and agreed to cooperate with prosecutors. I will forever have a place in my heart for you, Kayla Montgomery said in a statement read in court on her behalf. But she talked about how the relationship spiraled out of control after Harmony died. The last couple nights after you got arrested for the first time, I was sleeping with a knife because I did not know what you were going to do to me, she wrote, adding, I'm so angry and hurt by you. So many people are going to say, well, what the hell's wrong with you? You love this person this much to keep getting beat up, watching him abuse Harmony, God forbid, he was abusing the other children and whoever else that came in his peripheral. He killed the kid in front of you and the children. You still stayed with him. You watched him carry the dead baby around from place to place, but you still loved him. Wow. I'm so angry and hurt by you. And this is something that had a lot of people angry in America when they heard her say this, that she still cared for Adam Montgomery in court months ago. Adam Montgomery had custody of the girl. Her mother, who was no longer in a relationship with him, said the last time she saw Harmony was during a video call in April of 2019. She eventually went to police, who announced they were looking for the missing child on New Year's Eve 2021. Adam and Kayla Montgomery told police that Adam had taken his daughter to live with Sori in Massachusetts. Harmony Montgomery's case has exposed weakness in child protection systems and provoked calls to prioritize the well-being of children over parents in custody matters. Harmony was moved between the homes of her mother and her foster parents multiple times before Adam Montgomery received custody in 2019 and moved to New Hampshire. And that is what I have said during this live stream. The girl was going back and forth, back and forth, back and forth between her mother and the sister. Also, her baby brother, not by Mr. Montgomery. So the children didn't have a chance. See, that's what you always got to remember. The children didn't have a chance. And it's not good for children to keep moving from place to place. You can't get any substance out of life moving from place to place. You can't gain an identity going from place to place. I don't care whose house it is. How can you get an identity going from house to house every couple months? You're going over here, they're Pentecostal. You're going over here, they're Christian. They're going over here, they're Catholic. You're going over here, they don't believe in no God. See where I'm going? You're going in a place where, you know, they might be rationing the food and putting locks on the refrigerator and the freezer. I've heard of people doing crazy stuff like that. Might share a story with you today of a little girl I met. I was out riding public transportation, seeing the city, shopping, and something struck me odd. The little girl sitting with her mother. The little girl's wanting to talk to the queen, reaching for the queen. Kind of shook me a little bit. And she asked me in front of her mother, "Can I sit with you?" Can I sit with you? And you know, my heart was pitter-patter because my spirit was telling me, whenever you have children that want to go with strangers and be with strangers, that's not a good sign. Okay? She was very thin, the little girl. I noticed that. I mean, she was thin. So I let them talk. Her and the mother quipping back and forth. The mother kept saying, "You're talking too much. Leave her alone, blah, blah, blah." So eventually I asked, how old is she? "Oh, she's 7. Awfully thin. Now, one can say that's her chemical makeup. Then one can say she's not eating. And of course, Queen was thinking that when she was looking at her. And lo and behold, the mother kept talking. She started talking about her getting up in the night, wanting to eat all the time. She's always getting up, wanting to eat. Stay woke. Authorities plan to keep searching for the girl's remains, believed to be along a route Adam Montgomery drove in a rental truck in Massachusetts in March of 2020. Prosecutor Benjamin Agati said Thursday that police last went out for a search a couple of weeks ago, but they were not successful. Where are the remains of Harmony Montgomery? I don't know. It's no telling where he disposed of the child and what was actually left of the child. I'm not really sure. A lot is going on social media pertaining to Sebastian Rogers. Former President Trump, Stormy Daniels, has testified in court against Mr. Trump, bringing said information. Feel free to go on the YouTube queue to check out that information. A former White House aide has testified in this Trump hush money trial, saying he treated her well and he was nice to her. As I said on my community page, you hadn't crossed Mr. Trump yet to see the other side. And if you were paying attention to the news, you knew what Mr. Trump was capable of, because he's turned on everybody that's been in his corner and supported him, and also worked at the White House. Stay woke. Stay woke. Wow. Adam Montgomery received sentencing for the murder of his 5-year-old daughter, who now will be older if she was alive. As most of you know, she's not. Don't know where she's disposed of. Have no idea.
You robbed a 5-year-old girl, your own daughter, of the life that she was to lead. You stole from your sons a sister. You took a daughter from her mother.
Yes.
You were convicted of reckless second-degree murder. Reckless in this context does not mean something that was an accident. It is defined under law as something that manifests the extreme indifference to a human life. Your extreme indifference to the value of a human life is seen in so many of your actions in this case. In 2019, you beat Harmony. In the words of your uncle, her eye was fully black and blue like a raccoon eye, is what he said. Your words when asked were, quote, "I bashed her around the effing house." And then you hid her from the view of others, and you kept her from those that came to help her. On the date that you murdered her, you didn't hit her once, you punched her in the head repeatedly. You beat her in the car while at stoplights, more than one time. You knew that she was severely injured, yet you covered her with a blanket and didn't check on her until after you took her lifeless body from the car. And then, after her death, you treated her body like it was trash, worse than trash. You did unimaginable things to her body, and all in an effort to save yourself from being discovered as her murderer. And then, on top of that, you threatened, abused, and beat your wife to keep her silent. Your criminal history similarly reflects your extreme indifference to the value of human life. Your actions having taken both a physical and emotional toll on so many. In 2008, you were convicted of criminal threatening after pointing a knife at a 15-year-old girl. In 2010, you were convicted of armed robbery and assault and battery with a dangerous weapon in a home invasion incident in which it was reported that you held up a woman at gunpoint, terrorizing her to the point that she lost control of her bodily functions.
Wow.
In 2009, you were convicted of first-degree assault for stabbing another person. In 2014, you were convicted of assault and battery with a dangerous weapon and larceny in a case in which it was reported that you shot a man in the face. In 2019, you were convicted of 2 counts of armed career criminal, 2 counts of theft, and 2 counts of receiving stolen property, all of the charges stemming from the thefts of firearms, guns, exchanges of guns for drugs and money. The court has to consider 3 primary goals of sentencing: punishment, deterrence, and rehabilitation. The focus today is on your convictions in this case: second-degree murder, falsifying physical evidence, witness tampering, abuse of a corpse, and second-degree assault. But the prior convictions are important. And they're important as well, as each of them reflects not just your extensive criminal conduct, but each of them represents an opportunity after sentencing for you to have changed the trajectory of your life, to change how you were treating other people. But you were either unwilling or unable to do so. And as a result, at this point, the court has the responsibility to impose a sentence that not only punishes you harshly for the crimes that you have committed, but considers deterrence, that is, how to keep you from hurting others. In light of the egregious nature of the crimes of which you have been convicted in this case, and taking into consideration your extremely violent criminal history, the court finds the only way to do this is to keep you off the streets. To the extent you seek to rehabilitate yourself, that will have to happen behind the prison walls. Harmony was an innocent 5-year-old girl. You treated her in the worst of possible ways, in both her life and in her death. Therefore, the court sentences you as follows. On charge ID 2027112C, the charge of second-degree murder, you are sentenced to the New Hampshire State Prison for not more than life nor less than 45 years. That sentence is stand committed. That sentence is consecutive. All of these sentences, I should say now, are consecutive to each other, as well as consecutive to docket 216-2022 CR 577, which are the sentences that you're currently serving. Additionally, you're to participate meaningfully and complete any counseling, treatment, or education programs as directed by the correctional authority or probation parole.
He don't care about nothing this lady is saying.
Agencies may return evidence to its rightful owner. You are ordered to be of good conduct and comply with all the terms of this sentence.
Better do this.
This is also consecutive to the second-degree assault charge in the docket ending in 20. That is charge ID 1937947C. Do you have any questions about that sentence?
No.
On charge ID 2027113C, falsifying physical evidence. On this charge, you are sentenced to New Hampshire State Prison for not more than 7 years nor 3.5 years. This sentence is stand committed, consecutive to all of the other charges. that I'm about to read you, as well as consecutive to the second-degree assault charge and the docket ending in 2-0 and the sentences that you are presently serving.
Yes.
You do have the obligation,
Justice,
as with the other sentences, to meaningfully participate in programming as directed by the correctional authority or probation. Parole, you're ordered to be of good conduct and comply with all the terms of that sentence. On the charge of tampering with witnesses and informants, you are sentenced to New Hampshire State Prison for not more than 7 years nor less than 3.5 years. Again, this sentence is consecutive to the additional sentences that I've read to you and that I'm reading to you in this case, as well as docket ending in 2-0 and the sentences that you are presently serving. You have the same obligations for participation in programming, and law enforcement may return evidence to its rightful owner.
Let's talk about the teardrop on the left side of his eye. What's that for, Adam? Oh, my. Adam, who's the teardrop for? Because usually people put teardrops under their eye either for someone they've lost, they're mourning, or they want to lie to someone. And I doubt that you're mourning anybody. So I'm going to go with the latter. You put that teardrop under your eye because you've unalived somebody. Would that happen to be your daughter, Harmony Montgomery? Stay woke, everybody.
On the abuse of corpse charge, on this charge, you are sentenced to the maximum penalty of 12 months at the House of Correction. All of this sentence is suspended for 25 years. If it were to be imposed, it would be consecutive to the sentences that I read to you. And on this charge, you will also have the provision of a no contact order, and that is no contact with the Sorey family, the Miller family, and the Rafferty family. That sentence is also consecutive were to be imposed to all of the other sentences in this case and the sentence you're currently serving. On the second degree assault charge ID 1937947C, you are sentenced to New Hampshire State Prison for not more than 8 years nor less than 4 years. This sentence is consecutive to the sentences in docket 216-2022 CR 2372. This is charge ID 1937947C. On this charge, you have the additional requirement, as you have in the other cases, to meaningfully participate in programming. Law enforcement agencies may return evidence to its rightful owner, and you're obligated to be of good behavior and comply with all the terms of the sentence. Do you have any question about those sentences?
No, I do not.
All right, before you go, Council.
No, I do not. Nasty attitude. Got a bald spot in the back of his head. What's the matter? Hair won't grow? I love it. Just nasty. This is a joke to him. This is how he lived his life. Living in a car with Kayla and the children and killing a kid. Then he found another girlfriend. She ended up overdosing in a hotel. They were living in a car. And when you see her before and after pictures, you're asking yourself, what happened to her? Pretty girl, pretty blonde-haired girl. What happened with her? Was she using drugs before she met him? Don't know.
Sentences that I just reviewed with you, Mr. Montgomery, are imposed in light of the extended period of incarceration. The court will also make the finding that you do not have an ability to pay your attorney's fees, so there will not be an obligation for those in these matters. The clerk will now address you regarding sentence review.
Let's go back to what you just said.
The sentences that I just reviewed with you, Mr. Montgomery, are imposed in light of the extended period of incarceration. The court will also make the finding that you do not have an ability to pay your attorney's fees, so there will not be an obligation for those in these matters.
No obligation to pay attorney fees. Well, aren't they public defenders, or is this a law firm that took the case on? We know we don't have any money. Maybe he can sell his rights to Netflix or A&E. He can pay the lawyers.
The clerk will now address you regarding sentence review. I notify you that you have the right to apply for review Sentence imposed on you on May 9th, 2024. The application may be filed within 30 days after the date of the sentence, but not thereafter except for good cause shown. If you file such an application, your sentence will be reviewed by a board.
Because you never agreed.
Will be
That's
either
why.
judicial referees
It's a complete
and or
original.
Superior Court judges. Review of the sentence may result in a decrease or increase of the minimum or maximum term within the limits fixed by law, or there may be no change in the sentence. A form for making application, if you wish to do so, is set forth below. Mr. Montgomery, this applies for both cases 216-2022 CR20 and 216-2022 CR272. I'll leave those with you.
Sign your name. You know how to do that? Probably can't read and write. Take the pose, everybody. Take the pose.
Anything further from you, Jason? Thank you, everybody.
All right, that's the end of that. All rise. Adam Montgomery, 56 years for the murder of Harmony Montgomery, plus the 32 and a half years sentence from last year for gun charges. That is a lot of time. 56 plus 32, 8. It's a lot of years. 88 years, 80, now 90 years. But naturally, he can get out at some point. Some kind soul decides to grant him parole. It'll be up to the prison warden to decide to let him out. And he'll be damaged goods by then. God forbid he meets any woman, man, whomever. You better pray if you deal with him in a relationship, you better pray he's just in a wheelchair. Because if that thing can still walk, you in trouble, okay? And frankly, he'd still be hell on wheels, literally, if he was in a wheelchair. Shut your mouth. Thank you for joining me. We're approaching hour number 1. Didn't know it was going to take this long, but I wanted to play the content from the victim impact statements because they are relevant. And I wanted to give you the bio and the backdrop of this story for those who don't know about Adam Montgomery and Kayla Montgomery. Once again, Kayla Montgomery will be getting out of prison this month. When I get an update to that information, I will bring it to you. She took a plea to testify against Mr. Adam Montgomery. Once again, he still says not guilty. He didn't kill the child. It's all on Kayla. Blah, 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 blah. Both of them are evenly yoked to me. Now, some of you will say she was abused, she was battered, but she had many times to leave him before the little girl got killed. And I won't doubt he was beating her before. I don't believe he just killed the kid and then said, oh, I'm going to start beating Kayla because she knows my secret. No, he was probably abusing everybody. And we're going to pray for those children that Kayla have out here that are being raised by her mother, because I don't trust her mother. I think the mother holds the secret to some of this nonsense too, pertaining to Harmony. I don't believe she saw her Thanksgiving, as she told the court or put in a police report. I don't believe that. Because I don't believe the date of December 7th as the death of a little girl, because he was pulled over by the police, by the grace of God. She wasn't in the car. So I don't know why the state wants to keep saying December 7th. You don't know when that little girl went missing. All right. Sebastian Rogers, more nonsense. Lord have mercy, Jesus. Please check my community page for updates. Happy Face Killer pins Banfield again, basically saying we're alike, blah, blah, blah. Maybe if I was out here free, we could have met. When I was free, every person's one step away from becoming a criminal. Very true. I will agree with the Happy Face Killer. All it takes is to get in the right element. You can also become a news story and a YouTube video. You get in the right space, or as they would say, the wrong space. But Banfield, let the queen talk to you for just a second. You need to quit talking to Happy Face because he's bored, he has nothing to do. And the one thing I've learned from watching a lot of true crime, Silence of the Lambs, you don't want them in here. And that's what he's doing. He's a madman. And you make that point in your commentary in the News Nation video of him putting a woman under the truck and dragging her to a death. That's my point. that's somebody you don't want in here. Because the more you talk to Happy Face, you're still letting him in. And eventually in a personal phone call, he's going to ask you something personal. How you doing? How's your kid? How's your husband? Blah, blah, blah. Because he needs that. Because he don't have anything else but prison life. So anything he can grapple upon on the outside is like oxygen. That's why it's very dangerous talking to convicted killers, especially serial killers. Because the one thing you don't want is a serial killer up here. Stay woke. 14-year-old girl charged with killing her mother. Court TV. What happened there? Dear God. I don't know what to say. Bringing you just the latest. Once again, Stormy Daniels and a aide, White House aide, has testified against former Donald Trump. Whole lot of nonsense going on. Let's go over here to West Tennessee and see what's going on pertaining to Sebastian Rogers. I don't want to get into all that he said, she said stuff that's circulating with these YouTubers and Christopher Proudfoot. This is the reason why you all didn't have no business talking to him. I've said it 1,000 times. You go in the belly of the beast, you can't get mad when you come up with sling and sludge and mud and murk on you. Because you went down there looking. What were you looking for? Oh, you want him to tell you something about Sebastian. Well, I think he told you quite a bit. Now these people are arguing back and forth. Leave him the fuck alone. How about that? Just leave Christopher Proudfoot and Katie Proudfoot alone. Stop talking to him. They're liars. So you bringing them up on your panel and talking to them and messaging. What are you gaining? Nothing. He hasn't told you what the child is. He or Katie. He's a narcissist. Possible sociopath, psychopath. And that bobblehead ass wife too. So keep talking to them. You all gonna keep arguing and throwing mud with each other on YouTube. So you're basically going in the belly of the beast. You're stupid to the same level as Christopher Proudfoot, and you don't even know it. Because I'm not going to argue with no murderer. That's out. What did I just tell you? I told you that last night in that live stream. Ain't no way I'm getting ready to argue with no murderer. You went out the gate lying about the little boy. You run to YouTube, and Christopher Proudfoot is so worried about this PI who she'd have told something or insinuated something. You pointing at her with 4 fingers pointing back at yourself. Have you not realized that, Mr. Proudfoot? It's okay for you to run to YouTube and talk bad about the little boy. You can talk about the boy like a dog. Hell, if he dead, you'd have raised him up bad as you done talked about him. Whoa, but can't nobody else go to YouTube and talk. But it's okay for you to go to YouTube and talk. You the bearer of the good news. Hey, let me tell you about this pissy ass little autistic boy. Let me tell you about this. Let me tell you, don't nobody like him. Friends don't like him. But ain't nobody else supposed to go say nothing. This man is crazy. And Katie, the more I listen to Christopher Proudfoot and he said it and she said, I realized you are crazy to be with him. There's something deranged about your ass. Like I said, we all make mistakes and get tangled up with some fools. But both of y'all evenly yoked in this boy's disappearance, because I do believe the boy's dead. I wouldn't talk to neither one of you. Now, Gayle King, somebody want to talk to you? Because Gayle King makes a lot of money. Dateline, they want to talk to you? Let them go ahead. Because I ain't making nothing up here to talk to no damn murderer. I'll tell you that now. Say it again, Queen. I ain't making nothing up here on this box to sit up and talk to no murderer on my phone, Messenger, IG, and nowhere else. The hell out of here. Did Adam Montgomery get enough time by the judge? 17% said yes, 83% said no. I'm going to end this poll. Thank you for joining me. I will put up a poll also on the community page for those who are not in this live stream. Let's go into the belly of the beast pertaining to this case. This is a segment by News Nation where they recap on missing people in the United States, and Mr. Sebastian Rogers is one of those people missing currently. 2 months in, 2+ months, and the child is still missing. Where is Sebastian Rogers? Who has the information? I believe it's Mr. and Mrs. Proudfoot. We're not going to sugarcoat nothing on this network.
From Tennessee. He is just 15 years old and he is on the autism spectrum. And he was reported missing on February 26th from his home in Hendersonville. That is in Sumner County, Tennessee. Sebastian's mom says that he was gone when she went to wake him up for school that day. Police say there has been no evidence of foul play and the family is cooperating. Authorities have scoured miles of land looking for Sebastian, but there have been no leads to this point. There was a recent picture that got the family's hopes up of a teen resembling Sebastian. It was circulating on the internet. Sebastian's dad was hopeful it was him. However, it turns out it is not. That picture is a fake, an AI-generated image, according to the Sheriff's Department. Now, in early April, law enforcement said that they were still actively searching for Sebastian, and at this point, they're not ruling anything out.
Enforcement has not, drawn any conclusions, so we need to keep hope up and keep praying for this young teen and his parents and his dad, that, he's going to be found. We're just going to keep the faith.
Meantime, volunteers with the United Cajun Navy also joined in this search early on at the family's request, but they pulled back after they started receiving some threats. I spoke with one of the members of that search group about the unusual challenges they have faced looking for Sebastian.
The threats have been coming both in person, by phone, and also online. So we have multiple places that we're dealing with this, but we have turned over information to the local authorities so they can take action.
In the meantime, Sebastian's biological dad, Seth Rogers, says he hopes the FBI gets involved in the search for his son.
I don't know what to believe. All I know is that he has disappeared out of his mother's house, and it's my job to find him and bring him home.
What happened to Sebastian? Joining me now is former FBI agent and News Nation law and justice contributor, Jennifer Coffendorfer. Jennifer, the timeline of this case is peculiar. The circumstances around it, the police say no foul play. What stands out to you at this point in this investigation?
Well, I think what stands out to me is, Marnie, it's been 2.5 months. And not only do we not have any signs of life regarding Sebastian, we also have no signs of foul play. So basically, at this point, it seems like he vanished. And that's very peculiar in a case like this, for 2.5 months to go by with really no clue.
Take us back to the beginning of this investigation. What we knew at the time in February was Sebastian's mom went to check on him, get him up for school. He wasn't there. His shoes were left at the door. His cell phone, all the other things that a teenager would have were left behind. When investigators show up to look for a kid in these circumstances, an Amber Alert was issued. What happens immediately?
Well, immediately, canvass of that neighborhood has to be done, and it has to be done correctly, where basically every house in that neighborhood is gone to, where it's searched, where all possible areas he could leave and go to would be searched. Secondarily, and really I should say just as importantly, it's important to get a bloodhound or a scent dog on his scent immediately. And that's for the purpose of seeing if he can be traced outside of that door and what steps he might have taken. Obviously, also video camera and footage that might have been taken in and around that neighborhood could prove quite important. Yet still, all of these possible avenues have gone and led nowhere.
Does it surprise you investigatively that nothing has turned up, that any clues so far?
It really does surprise me. There's been a lot of speculation, a lot of innuendo, and actual straight up.
Going to interrupt Ms. Coffendorfer for a minute. February 25th, last seen by parents when Sebastian went to bed. February 26th, Sebastian not in his bed, endangered child alert issued. February 27th, Amber Alert issued. February 29th, pond drained, nothing found. May 5th, new photo taken in North Carolina, looks like Sebastian, May 5th. What is wrong with this story? So let's talk to the lady who allegedly took the picture, but then she says the husband took the picture. Why did you do that? Why did you do that? Because somebody needs to address you. And I'm the perfect person for the addressing business. Why'd you do that, ma'am? Why did you all send that picture out to the alleged FBI and then to social media? Because the picture that the woman showed of her son, I don't know, don't really look like that picture. That picture looks more like Sebastian. So I'm just confused at what's going on pertaining to this case. A bunch of clout chasers, sicko wackos, because true crime most definitely brings out wacko people. Very lonely individuals who don't have nothing better to do with their time than to try to get attention, such as those heathens down in Mississippi who I believe unalive Sebastian Rogers. You know those two. That little Build-A-Bear. Yeah. That little Build-A-Bear by the name of Mr. Proudfoot. And that wife, Carrie White. Oh yeah, I can come up with all kind of names for people. Carrie White and the Build-A-Bear. So we got folks uploading fake content for attention. We got a raving lunatic on YouTube crying and moaning. Carrie White crying in the background. I don't know why she did that. I don't know why she did that. Why you kill your kid? How about that?
Allegations regarding the family's involvement. But really, law enforcement is forced to follow clues. Even though things may seem awry, the statements made by family might be completely out of order. It's just they have to follow the facts. And they have said there is no sign of foul play.
And police say the family is cooperating, no finger pointing from mom or dad. They just want to find their son right now. I do find it peculiar that the United Cajun Navy was asked to get involved early on. We've worked with them on a lot of missing cases, and they called off their participation in the search because they were receiving threats. What do you make of that?
Well, that is not only peculiar, but it's really outlandish. We hate to see these volunteer groups, and that's what they are, Marnie. No one is expecting these services to be, professionally trained even, but what you do need are boots on the ground, people to spread flyers out, people to post flyers, and people to walk these wooded areas in and around where he was. When other people start intimidating those volunteers leave, and it takes so many steps backwards on these investigations.
You know, law enforcement has a tough job, and they're often very protective of what they know. Do you believe that police investigating this know more than they're sharing at this point?
I do, Marnie. I think they know much more that they haven't shared. This is one of the really tighter-lipped investigations we've seen in these types of cases. They really aren't saying anything. It took them almost 2 weeks to come out with the negative, the information that it was negative, in meaning not Sebastian Rogers in that photo. Meanwhile, a lot of people really had hope, including the parents. So I'm just, they don't obviously owe anybody an explanation, Marnie. But when these types of figures and photos come out, I think it is so important to let the public know as early as possible, no, this is not him.
Right, so it's an AI photo. It immediately gets the family's hope up. We believed it was from North Carolina, and the sheriff's department came forward and said this is a fake photo. But it does beg the question as to crossing of state lines in an Amber Alert. How do law enforcement broach that issue?
Well, in these types of situations, thankfully, they have gotten the involved. The FBI is assisting. They're not leading the investigation. Also, TBI is involved. But they closely work together so that any leads that come out, such as this, immediately that jurisdiction where this photo was allegedly taken could be that video footage could be called. So it's so important for everyone to work in lockstep on these cases.
Some of you believe that the boy is still alive and that possibly somebody in the chat, I don't know what this person was thinking, talking about, well, the person who in the picture, the lady who's claiming that that's her in the picture and she wants the picture taken down, that she has Sebastian. I said, do you hear yourself? That makes no sense. I'm not going to go to social media and tell you to take the picture down of me and my son and I'm involved in the crime of holding this Sebastian Roberts person in my custody. How would that make any sense? Why would I implicate myself into an Amber Alert and a missing child by telling you, oh, hey, by the way, that picture is of me and my son. Please take it down. And back to the drawing board. Who was the woman who took the picture, her and the husband? Who are they? Where are they from? Will there be any charges for fraud, meddling in investigation? What will happen? Because for you to say it's AI generated, because I think I called it A1 generated, but for you all to say it's AI generated, meaning it's a fraudulent picture done fraudulently with mechanics and things, then you need to be talking to this woman and ask her, what's her motivation? So the PI, Mr. Tony Mathis, as I said before in my past live streams, why didn't Seth talk to the woman directly who took the photograph? Why not? Now what do you all have to say about that woman? Because the PI allegedly talked to her. So Mr. Mathis, what do you have to say about the woman you talked to who uploaded a fraudulent picture? Because if you look at the picture, it looks more like Sebastian, but this woman also showed a picture of her son. His face is a little more square. So what is this, a combination of two people mixed into one, generated? What the hell is going on? And who does this type of shit? There's a kid missing. Graphs. This is crazy to me. A whole kid is missing and you're up here playing around with internet mechanics, filters, or whatever you call it. I had to Google what the hell AI generated was, because I had never heard of it before. And it's a blow to the spirit that this is what you would do pertaining to a missing kid. So there's a lot of stuff intertwined in this story that's icky. Nasty parents, a missing mother, nasty step-parent, a father he acts vague in conversation and acts oblivious to what the hell is going on with his kid, hiring PIs, firing PIs. Now we got Mr. Proudfoot cussing everybody out on YouTube, a phone call leaked. So while he's crying to her, she's the one probably who leaked the damn phone call. Y'all better stay woke. These people are evil, and these people out here pretending to care and want to be wrapped up in these cases, they're just as evil as the people who unalive the person that's missing. You all better pay attention. This is why I don't get wrapped up in all that he said, she said stuff, and oh, he's trying to help, and he's on the ground doing this. You better be very careful who you trust, who you put your trust in. Because a whole child is missing. And I'm sure he trusted that mother and that stepfather and their little relatives. And he's nowhere to be found now. Take the poll, everybody. Does the sheriff TBI know more? 64% yes. Now it's going up and down. 18% not sure. 18% no. 64% yes. Let's finish this with Coffin Daffner.
How do law enforcement's resources dwindle after more time passes in a case like this?
Well, they dwindle, Marnie. Make no mistake. Particularly these local departments, they have only so many officers, and remember, they have a lot of other responsibilities that have nothing to do with looking for missing that they are trying to keep up with. And as time goes on, the case becomes colder and colder, and instead of having active proactive investigation, you move to reactive. And that is where a clue will come in and you follow it instead of proactively looking.
What is the threshold, Jennifer, for local law enforcement, the Tennessee Bureau of Investigation and local police to ask for more assistance from the FBI, for example?
Well, the threshold is going to be where they literally have no clues coming in. they feel like they're at a complete standstill, and they might ask for additional resources to, as an example, spread further their ground search. But in this case, they called off the ground search, Marnie. And so unfortunately, that tells me they're just working from an intelligence base and trying to develop those clues into possibly finding him. It's not leading anywhere, Marnie.
The family has shared that Sebastian is on the spectrum. How does that factor into investigator search?
It's a huge factor because people who are on the spectrum, young children like this, we've seen this before. Connor Jack Oswald comes to mind, you may recall. He left when he was only 17, and he just up and left, and then was later recovered 2.5 years later, over 2.5 years later. I know you covered that story well. The last case I ever worked as an FBI agent involved a child on the spectrum, and he too just left. Even though a lot of people thought that the family might have been involved, they were not involved. So I think it's...
So I'm glad Coffin Dafford mentioned this. She's speaking of an autistic child in the case she dealt with, where people thought the parents were involved, but they weren't. The child walked off. So do we have this wrong? Did this boy child leave for whatever reason and he succumbed to the elements? Or picked up by a stranger and they are holding him hostage and doing horrible things to him, or just taking care of him, don't want to return him? What the hell is going on? Every blue moon, you get that rare case of a child kidnapped by an abductor. You find out that they are either unalive or was kept and raised. I don't see it with this family. And that's just my personal opinion. I don't like the Proudfoots. I don't care for them. I don't like their demeanor. I don't like the way they carry themselves. I don't like the fact that the mother has let this Teletubby do all the talking. The fact she won't talk, won't say anything. She's whimpering in the back of that phone call that's been leaked. Katie Proudfoot, she's a coward. So, Mr. Proudfoot, you like calling people cowards, threatening Mr. Seth and the PI, and calling Seth a coward. You're a coward. Katie's a coward. Because anybody that's beating up little kids and beating up children, those are cowards. Anybody that goes to YouTube talking bad about a child and their bathroom issues, that's a coward. How dare you sit up here and talk nasty about an autistic child, where now all his schoolmates and people in the school can learn that he was using the bathroom on himself if they didn't know that. You a dirty motherfucker. You are a dirty, dirty old white man. And Katie, you dirty and you nasty too. Yeah, I said it.
Very important to pay special attention to the fact he's on the autism spectrum may invoke different behavior than someone who's not.
Many families feel as though they hit a dead end after dead end, and they turn to private investigators. I know Sebastian's family has done that as well. They've also brought on people to act as a spokesperson for the family. Talk about the mentality of folks feeling as though they need to ask for outside help, and does that actually lead to answers in cases like this?
I think it can be helpful. People, though, who have this sort of experience, FBI agents that have worked these sort of missing cases for years, you want to really get somebody that's very well vetted and has the experience for two reasons. One, they know how to conduct these investigations, but secondarily, they're going to be able to better establish rapport with the local department. When a department is still working a case, though, a private investigation situation can get in the way, and they can be basically given the cold shoulder by law enforcement. So,
well said, Coffin Dafford. Private eyes getting in the way. Has this man gotten in the way? The PR person, because he's not the PI, Mr. Mathis. Let's clarify. Seth had PIs. Did they get in the way of the investigation? Number one. Has this PR person gotten in the way? Does Seth have actual private investigators on the case? And why are you firing and hiring? What is going on? You don't have the money? What is the deal? They want more money? Help us understand. Everybody needs to start being truthful, because you can't demand truth when you're not truthful. And so far, Mr. Proudfoot, he's only putting out what he wants to put out. But he ain't about to put out every dirty detail about him and Katie and his family and this and that. We've heard enough of that from Nina. We don't really need to hear nothing else. And as they always say, imagine what you don't know. Exactly. Imagine what you don't know. What you say? Teletubbies, that's cute. I like it. He is a Teletubby. Teletubby / Build-A-Bear. Take your pick. You heard the way he talked in that phone call about that PI Chloe? And the way he talked about Seth Rogers? Now imagine this is somebody raising a child, doing all that cussing and fussing and calling people bitches and all of that. Okay. Now imagine what he would have called a little boy.
It's difficult because PIs just don't have the tools law enforcement officers do.
You know, it can be dangerous to theorize, but also can play forward possible scenarios. Do you have any theories in this case as you look at the evidence?
This is a case, Marnie, that is troubling to me. It's troubling to me because the circumstances don't quite smell right from the standpoint of where could this child have gone to and never have been seen. So whenever I see something like that, yes, I am very troubled. But there are other circumstances that lead me to believe it is at least possible that he wandered off. And I say that because there has been literally not a clue, Marnie, that the family was involved, and their house has been searched and scoured.
Well, Coffin Dafford, you are former FBI. You know the game. They will not tell us if they suspect the Proudfoots or anybody related to the Proudfoots or Seth Rogers. They don't have to tell us that. And as you also said in this commentary, they may look guilty, but not guilty. Exactly. So we have to wait on the investigation. Where is the investigation going? Do they have suspects in this case? Do they suspect Seth Rogers, Katie Proudfoot, or Christopher Proudfoot, or any entities involved with these family members? Do they believe that the child is alive, or do they believe the child is deceased? Stay woke, everybody. So just because you're saying, oh, they don't have anything, Coffin Dafford, you know better. They may have something, but they're not telling us anything. And maybe what they don't have is leading them to believe that this is personal. No video surveillance, that's been released. No video surveillance, why not? So nobody has a doorbell camera showing this little boy skipping, hopping, running, playing on a bicycle, playing in the driveway, nothing.
So for that reason, I still have great pause that the family was involved.
And if he did wander off, they issued an Amber Alert. What does that tell you?
Well, the fact that they
Say that again.
other circumstances that lead me to believe it is at least possible that he wandered off. And I say that because there has been literally not a clue, Marnie, that the family was involved, and their house has been searched and scoured. So for that reason, I still have great pause that the family was involved.
Wow.
And if he did wander off, they issued an Amber Alert. What does that tell you?
Well, the fact that they issued an Amber Alert, law enforcement believes that he could not have left and gone a long distance on his own, that he would have had to have been picked up and kept in like a kidnapping situation and taken. But then I still find it interesting that not one person has seen hide nor hair of him. Again, that leads us back to the origination, Marnie. What happened in that house? There's only one witness, I should say two, and that is Katie Proudfoot and Sebastian Rogers.
What's the public's role in a case like this, Jennifer, not just in Tennessee, around Hendersonville where Sebastian lived, but elsewhere to keep their eyes and ears out for any clues?
You know, Marnie, I always say people on social media have such a powerful tool, no matter whether they're TikTokers or Instagrammers or Facebookers, it doesn't matter. Everyone who puts his name and his photo out there, it proliferates, Marnie, and that is something everyone can help with. Even if it can't be boots on the ground, you are providing significant information, and somebody just might see him that recognizes that photo, and it's not an AI photo, it would possibly actually be him.
Yeah, the more attention, the better in every case. Jennifer Coffindoffer, I appreciate you reading in on this one, and as always, thank you for your expertise and your experience. It means the world.
Thank you, Marnie.
And again, there is an active alert in the case and search for Sebastian Rogers. If you have any information that can help in the search for this young man from Tennessee, you can contact the Tennessee Bureau of Investigation, 1-800-TBI-FIND. And make sure you join us next week as we investigate the disappearance of a woman named Julie Vesigalt.
We've had people scouring every single parking lot
I'm
that they
good.
could possibly think of, you know, like especially the mental health hospitals and Walmart, shopping centers, because she was known to sleep in her car quite a bit while she was on the road.
Julie was known to take time away to herself, but she always let those close to her know where she was planning to go and what her plan was. So make sure you tune in next week as we focus on Julie's disappearance. And if there is a missing person case you think we should know about, send it to us at newsnationnow.com/missing. You can also send us tips through our News Nation app. Thank you as always for joining us. I'm Marnie Hughes in Chicago. This is Missing on News Nation. I'll see you next week.
I just recently learned that they're in Chicago, News Nation. I had no idea. All this time I've been watching News Nation for a couple years and never knew it was in Chicago, my home. Lord have mercy, help me. All right, take the polls, everybody. Make this live count. Amen. Topic number 2, Sebastian Rogers. A lot of he said, she said, transpiring on social media with Mr. Proudfoot. Mr. Proudfoot, you are dirty. You know what? While you telling somebody they need to redial in, you need to dial out. How about that? You need to dial out off of YouTube. You need to stop talking to YouTubers. You need to quit talking ill about a boy. Because it looks like to me he's not here. He's not around. I don't think he wandered off. As I told people, all autistic children don't work the same, don't operate the same. A child is a child. Whether they like water, don't like water, whatever. That's neither here nor there with me. Everybody's not the same. I'm going by the behavior of these people. Could I be wrong? Yes, I could. But right now, they look guilty to me. They look guilty to me. And the fact that he's talking so nasty about the child, use deduction here. Imagine the child is alive and they find the child, law enforcement, or somebody brings the child out, drops the child off at a Piggly Wiggly 7-Eleven. Where is he going, number one? Number two, how is Mr. Proudfoot gonna take this child back after he done talked about him like a dog and put all his damn business out about him using diapers? I'll let that sit right there. Stay woke. What judge is gonna let this child go back to the house with you after you done talk bad about him on YouTube? You worry about every time Dick and Harry talking, and the little boy, poof, voila, he shows up. He going back there with you and Katie? Hell no. And the judge probably wouldn't let him go with Seth either. Because this is a sick, sick, sick scenario with this child. Because we don't know what to believe and who to believe. But right now, I don't think nobody in this family needs to take care of Sebastian. Because you all are all over the place. You're not unified. Seth acts like he's been living in a bubble with this kid. We don't really know what was the relationship like between all these people and even before Mr. Proudfoot came into Katie's life. And that's what's relevant. It's what was really going on behind closed doors with Sebastian Rogers. How was he actually treated? Was he happy? Because it looks like to me he didn't have a life. No friends, nobody's coming to visit him. He's not going anywhere with other people. He's not traveling with kids. He's not going to other people's houses. That is a part of being a young person, is having friends, associates. And I don't see this boy having that. Autistic or not, he wasn't dead. He had a life, he had 2 feet, he had a heart, he had a brain. And he's too busy sitting around fucking Katie Proudfoot. So you should know at some point, she's growing tired of this life. So she should have had her child involved in activities. That's how you keep your children grounded. That's how you keep your children from having an idle mind. Is you keep them involved in activities, functions. I say they have something to do with the disappearance of the boy child. Did he wander off? 33% yes, 53% no, 13% not sure. Going to end that poll. This is just a hot butter mess. Now they have a whole summer having to take care When was the pic announced as fake? I thought someone came forward to say it was her son. Well, Carolyn, obviously she's behind the fake picture, the person who took it. You can't have one without the other. You can't upload the picture, send it out, and then has done their homework on the photo, and they say it is AI generated, which means it's fraudulent. So why this sick woman would do this, I don't know. Somebody needs to have a little chit chat with her. And I will do a short on her after this live stream. So little lady, wherever you are, you might want to go hide your head in the sandbox, you and your husband, whoever you are, because that bullshit you all pull is foul. Because it can't be Sebastian and this other woman's child. So everybody needs to pay attention to what's going on. Somebody took the picture. The picture is fake. So whoever uploaded the picture, they're a fraud. Number two, the woman who says that's her child, I don't know where to take that either. Say, well, now, because the picture looks like Sebastian features, but a woman has said that's her child. But then yet the picture is fraudulent. So tell me what the fuck is going on here. Are we talking about several doppelgangers? Picture's a fraud, and the woman claiming that that's her child, she's a fraud as well. Please stay tuned for us short, because I'm getting ready to grill everybody's ass. Because I don't know what the hell is going on. But this is what I've been trying to explain to you all since talking to you about true crime. Talking about Camille McKinney, the West Boys, Summer Wells. This is expected from people who are bored. They don't have a life. They don't have nothing to do. They go scour Facebook posts and Twitter posts and Reddit posts, and they believe anything that they hear and they spread it like it's the good news. That's what's going on here. It's the same thing that went on with all the cases I've covered that were high profile on this network. You have messy boots. And the YouTubers, they are the same. A lot of them are the same as the people out here making up shit. They spread stuff and put it on their network and make a video about it. They don't fact check. They don't double check. They don't go try to talk to the people. Because that's the thing about a mouth moving. It's a version. And it's just like what I told you about entertaining Mr. Proudfoot and Katie Proudfoot. You should know at some point you were going to get drugged into the abyss by fooling with them. See, a lot of you say, let them talk, let them talk. But you should know there's repercussions in letting a person who probably killed a kid talk on social media, number one. Talking to them privately and putting them on your channel, you should know there's going to be retribution for that. Stay woke. You think there's not going to be a fallout from having people on your channel that are possibly murderers? Think about that for just a second. It may look like good content at the time. Oh, I'm going to get a lot of likes and views on this. They want to hear from them. Okay, but you've been talking to them and talking to them and talking to them, and all they're doing is passing lies and talking ill of a possible dead person. You don't think there's not going to be a fallout from that? Okay. Exactly, Ellie. Because somebody needs to look into the people that took the picture, the woman and the man, because she said, oh, my husband took it because I couldn't get to the phone quick enough, so you don't really know what's the truth. Then you got to look at the woman who's claiming that's her son. Now, I said I can't see the woman being involved in a crime or hiding out Sebastian or whatever some crazy person thinks, because if I don't want to be involved in a crime or kidnapping, I'm not getting ready to put my name out there and my profile out there so you can start stalking me and doxing me and bothering me. But her name is on social media, and she's saying, hey, take that picture down. That's a picture of my son. So I don't know what the hell's going on. But I will say her son, if this is actual woman in person, does favor the boy child. His face is a little more square, I think, through here. Sebastian's face is more long, but I don't know. I have no idea what the hell's going on. But I know something's got to give because this case is out of control. Bringing you the latest updates Adam Montgomery has been sentenced to 56 years in prison, plus his 32.5-year sentence from last year on gun charges. Sebastian Rogers still missing. Kayla Montgomery, his wife at the time, she will be getting out of prison this month. Don't know the date. When I get an update, I'll bring it to you. Stormy Daniels has testified against our former president of the United States of America, Mr. Donald Trump, and one of his aides has testified, saying he was a good guy to work for. Okay. Whew, Lord have mercy. Happy Face talks about talking to Miss Banfield. As I said, she needs to stop talking to him. Did Chris and Katie Proudfoot abuse Sebastian Rogers? This is the Queen.
Pressure washing the kid, making him sleep in the garage because he urinates on himself. What is the truth? I don't know what to believe, but I know this case is out of control. A neighbor has spoken out about abuse from Christopher Proudfoot towards Sebastian, pressure washing the kid, making him sleep in the garage because he urinates on himself. What is the truth? I don't know what to believe, but I know this case is out of control.
All right, that's one of the Queen's short. Please check out my latest content from last night. AI generated photo of Sebastian, Christopher, and Katie's plan to rid themselves of a child. Please check out that video uploaded last night. Going in the queue, bringing you updates pertaining to this case and other breaking news. Once again, no new information about this boy child. Also, check out this viral video of a woman on a Southwest airline sleeping in the top luggage compartment. What a fool. Jesus wept. We also get information from the grandmother. She's come out publicly speaking about Mr. Proudfoot. Check out AB's content on that. May play a little bit of that information. Oh, Lord. What is going on? Going into YouTube queue, showing all of the Queen's content.
PR spokesman Tony Mathis is accusing Nancy Grace of repeating things that Seth said about the Proudfoots, and eventually she wasn't supposed to. Is Nancy going to apologize, or is she going to give them all the business?
That's the Queen. Is Nancy Grace going to apologize? Mr. Mathis is upset that she said things that Seth said about Katie possibly drugging the child and him dying, and she told them she wouldn't say anything. So Nancy Grace, are you going to respond? Number one. Number two, are you going to apologize to Seth Rogers? Stay woke, everybody. Officials say photo online is not Sebastian. The Queen.
Officials have told us that the picture circulating is not Sebastian Rogers. The mother also has gone to social media to say, please take the picture down of she and her son in that photograph. What is going to happen to the case now? Lord have mercy.
All right, what is going to happen to the case now? Seth has gone on to Nancy Grace to take a polygraph, and now his PR person has turned on Nancy Grace to say she broke her word. Wow, wow, wow. Photo circulating online is not Sebastian Rogers. WKRN News 2 is the source. Ellie is so funny. Girl, you're too funny to me. All right, let's hear it.
Circulating online has a striking resemblance to a missing Sumner County teen, Sebastian Rogers. The Sumner County Sheriff's Office has seen that photo, and after investigating the claim, they've come to their conclusion. Hayden Kennedy is here with this newest development in the months-long search.
Yeah, and after this photo has made its rounds, with some hoping that it did show Sebastian, the sheriff's office is now confirming the photo is not of him. And here it is. It was said to have been taken at a visitor center in North Carolina. To several people, including Sebastian's father, Seth Rogers, this person appears very similar to Sebastian's description. The sheriff says after coordinating with law enforcement in North Carolina, they've determined the person is not who they're looking for. The sheriff's office says, quote, "We understand the gravity of the situation and the concerns it has raised. Our collaborative efforts with law enforcement agencies continue unabated as we remain committed to finding Sebastian," end quote. Sebastian was reported missing on February 26th after he reportedly walked out of his home in Hendersonville overnight. An extensive search with local and federal agencies has turned up no leads. So any information on his whereabouts can be shared with the Sumner County Sheriff's Office or with the TBI.
1-800-TBI-FINE if you want to give information pertaining to the disappearance of this boy child. Going through the YouTube queue and on my channel, my community page.
Continuing coverage in the search for Sebastian Rogers, a photo circulating on social media of a child out in North Carolina is not a real photo of the missing teen. The Sumner County Sheriff's Office worked with law enforcement in North Carolina to make this determination. 15-year-old Rogers has autism and has been missing from his Hendersonville home since February 26th.
Not of the child, but A1 AI generated, but yet it's somebody else. This makes no sense. This case is off the scales. Let me go in here and check out AB's content for just a second. Let me see. Everybody done with the polls? Did Sam blunder off? No, 33%. Yes, 33%. Not sure, 13%. Wow, very interesting.
It's been an interesting past 14 hours. Ironically, because of old Tony Mathis. And figure this out. Seth's helper, what a stupid PR move to follow up with a letter saying how disappointed you were that you guys didn't want this out there. What kind of nonsense are you playing? Seth can do whatever he wants. He doesn't need Tony Mathis speaking to Nancy Grace for him. You gotta get a look at this. Let's see if I can read that from here. Hold on, I'll read it on the big screen. So you get a look at this. Let's get the old statement analysis out. Holden, I'm very disappointed in you and Nancy both. You gave me your words that nothing would be released to make the Proudfoots look bad. Coming out of the mouth of Tony Mathis. How dare you guys report on the news? You gave me your word that nothing would be released to make the Proudfoots look bad. Nancy also stopped the show when I had Seth get off. She promised both of us that she would cut that part out of Seth accusing Katie. And she goes on to say, she went about, so the second part says about Seth accusing Katie, and she went ahead and released it. She clearly stated she wanted to put no more stress on him, and she did it anyway. You've lost all our trust. Now, I'll give you a moment and let you recover from laughter. Did I not tell you that this guy was a character? This fucking guy? Did you not like the color of Nancy's blazer? Did she promise you that she was going to wear a purple blazer and she wore a red one, or what? Hey, dummies. If you don't want people talking about it, it shouldn't have came out of your mouths in the first place, all right, boys?
Exactly.
Now, again, I tell you, they're all working together in the background. Why? Because they're more interested in receiving your sympathy donations instead of before you get the skinny on their personal histories. And the more that
So, AB is talking about donations. Is this about money? Are we not hearing the truth about these people, PIs and PR persons? Because everybody has to be able to afford shuffling paper, staying in hotels, so on and so forth. And I'm supposed to believe these people have money put to the side to do all this work for free? I don't understand. Because you have to have money to shuffle paper. You have to have money to travel, call people, talk to people, meet up with people. So help me understand, the PR person, did you go talk to the woman personally, like you went to North Carolina or you went to wherever she was? I'm confused at what the fuck is going on here. Because really that's a PI's job to be talking to the woman that took the picture, not a PR person. So this is where this is confusing. PR means I speak on your behalf. PI means I go investigate things about you. So I think everybody's got their roles mixed up. Why is a PR person talking to the person that took the damn picture? Number two, Seth, why didn't you talk to her personally or the man that took the picture? Because I want to see her. Honey, we got a video chat. Give me a number. Woo, woo, woo. I'll be Johnny on the spot. And then later you went up there to see about the photograph and the place where the picture was taken. So I'm just confused at who was doing what, why. Now we found out the pictures are fake. Are we going to find out that one of these parents has not been truthful with their information pertaining to the boy child? Because I'm getting utterly disgusted with everybody involved. And with that leaked audio of Mr. Proudfoot cussing everybody out under the sun, that woman playing coy, well, I'll call Chloe and I don't think she'd do that. Then you got this other YouTuber crying about how she was acting and talking and she just threw us under the bus and da-da-da-da-da. Because you all need to quit fucking with Mr. Proudfoot. You're going to get this type of bullshit because you keep going in the belly of the beast. You cannot go hang with the devil, dance with the devil, and then get mad when the devil turns on you. That doesn't even make logical sense. Kind of like a snake, what they say about handling a snake. You know it was a snake when you met it, because it's a snake. The snake didn't tell you, oh, I ain't going to bite you. I'm a snake. Say, well, I'm a snake. I bite. So arguing on YouTube about who said what, who's on first, y'all like this type of drama. That's why I keep trying to tell you about these people that be bringing you this content. They are with the shit. They are with the shit. This is Donna Wells all over again. Running out of breath to go talk to people on YouTube. Then go cry and say, oh, they hurt my feelings. Oh, they turned on me. Oh, they did this. Why are they doing this to me? Leave them alone. It's a two-way street. Get off the road, go park your car, go read a book. YouTuber, get off the road, go park your car, go read a book. Case closed.
To like the more questionable, even Seth is.
Yes,
so,
guy.
You know what would make me stop looking? Here's a strong one, Seth. If you're suspicious of Katie, there's no reason for you to be out there searching. When the person that has all of the answers is right in front of you, you should drop your bullshit and go pick up a sign and stand along JLR and his friends in front of Katie's house.
Good luck.
That's more the attitude that you should have developed in this early on. You're more interested in spreading the bullshit rhetoric and wanting to be seen as another victim of these liars in this, but you're alongside of them, and now your representative is even doing their bidding. What a fool you are.
Ooh,
February 26, 20.
I'm going to go past that. Is Seth equipped to handle this case of his son missing? Is he mentally equipped? Yes, AB. Easy. Let me tell you, I was listening to him the other night during a live, and I had a bag of popcorn, store-bought, I promise you. The popcorn literally was leaving my mouth. I said, they're going to find you choked to death up in here and be like, well, she was eating popcorn, watching something on the television. I promise you, I was literally spitting that popcorn out. That to keep from damn choking. Fooling with AB. Is Seth mentally equipped? Has he also been truthful with us about his relationship with his son and the Proudfoots? Is he going to one day tell us, I've never trusted my child with her. I've always wanted to get my child. I've tried to get my child. I have gone to court to seek custody, full custody of my child. And the last question, Mr. Seth Rogers, do you really want Sebastian Rogers? Are you involved in the disappearance of Sebastian Rogers? Are you the person that we're actually seeing here play out on TV and YouTube? Do you regret talking to YouTubers? As you heard Mr. Mathis say, he wants to make sure he picks the right element to give his commentary. But that's the whole point. Once you do something, you can't go back. So maybe you're having regrets about talking to YouTubers, lashing out on court TV. But that's understandable because that's your child. Your child is missing and you're the only one out here looking for your child. It's a bad look on the Proudfoots. And the fact that Mr. Proudfoot has something nasty to say, hey, you're making us look bad if that's true. How the hell is that something for you to even say? Well, then get your ass out here and go look for him. Oh, that's right, you gotta work. Well, you're right, you gotta work. So your wife should be out here looking. That's her son. If you really care for the child, you're going to do the best you can by sharing the information on your page. You went weeks, you wasn't even sharing anything on your Facebook page. And then you sharing all this old goofy ass memes and stuff on your page. You're a weirdo. A damn weirdo. And Katie sit up here whimpering in the background on that leaked audio. I don't know why she did that. I don't know why she did that. They're all going to laugh at you. Carrie White. That's my name for Katie Proudfoot, Carrie White. Just crybaby. Laying in the shadows, not doing nothing. Not caring nothing about her kid. And that's how I feel. They don't care anything about that boy. That's the reason why he's gone. Let's hear what this grandmother has to say. Too many people talking. Everybody coming out, helicopters and drones, flapping out like chickens. Bunch of wet chickens. Everybody got something to say. 2 months in. Hell, like I said, if he was dead, you didn't raise him up by now. Wanting to talk. People are weird. Everybody's weird. Just weird. This is on Mr. AB's channel. Shame on Chris Proudfoot and shame on, I can't even read this. Hold on. I gotta get it where I can see it. Because his title is up. Shame on Chris Proudfoot and shame on Kluminati, who reportedly speaks with him daily. How dare you make a mockery of my grandson's disappearance? But we all know how you really felt about Sebastian, how you treated him. CPS records do not lie. And Katie, you know exactly what happened to Sebastian. Your smart mouth husband said so early on in the investigation. The longer this something. Who the hell is Kluminati? Ooh, Lord, these people make me sick. This ain't nothing but just utter ignorance. AB, everybody.
Kudos to Robin Rogers, which is Seth's mom, for this comment.
Drowning.
Another Sebastian Rogers calls out Katie and Chris Proudfoot. Top contributor. Shame on Chris Proudfoot and shame on Kluminati, who reportedly speaks with him daily. So does Tony, by the way, probably. How dare you make a mockery of my grandson's disappearance? But we all know how you really felt about Sebastian and how you treated him. CBS records do not lie. It's probably a bit emotional. Well, there's all kinds of instances of abuse by proxy. They all take the reports. Doesn't mean that they're necessarily true. It's just somebody's report. But these ones, Mrs. Rogers, these particular ones, madam, these ones do not lie, especially in a situation when a child has gone missing and you open up the books and you take a look across the many files from the neighbors in the Hendersonville area. And Katie, Robin Rogers says, you know exactly what happened to Sebastian. Your smart mouth husband said so early on in the investigation, the longer this goes on, the worse the outcome is for you. We will find him, meaning Sebastian. This is true, because I listen, Katie, you have to save some face here at some point. You have to. If you do not, people are going to assume the absolute worst has happened. Therefore, they will have zero sympathy, less empathy, and less willingness to see things through your eyes. Your best bet is to put the onus on Chris, because, listen, we can see through and hear through the language of Chris Proudfoot just how much of an abuser he is in this scenario. You've been together since 2016, 2017. You allowed Chris Proudfoot to get in between you and Seth, Sebastian's father. Chris Proudfoot doesn't care about Sebastian Rogers or one iota.
Exactly. He does not.
It comes through in his language. He might tell you all of these things, but I'm pretty sure he's only speaking on your behalf because you're trying to get away with something. Let's go see what she's talking about. Yesterday, I wasn't going to play this call, but let's just go have a little soundbite and see if we can improve the audio. And JLR posting up here. If you don't know, JLR has that sound clip that old Tony is so upset about posted to his Twitter. At JLR Investigates, Chris Proudfoot claims a bed was given to him after a prank. Sebastian Rogers went missing. A replacement. Under the guise it's a new one for the gal, his little daughter that he's torturing his own family with.
Why did someone give him a bed? What was the purpose of the bed? Stay woke. To put in another room or the room that the boy child was in? What type of bed did the boy sleep in? Full? Queen? Twin? What's in Sebastian Rogers' room as we speak? Has the room been redone? Have they thrown away his items, his toys, his games? Pay attention. Donated any of his clothes, items from his room? How does the room look right now? Was the child sleeping in the garage? Was the child wearing a diaper? Was the child using the bathroom on himself? Did the neighbors see what they said they saw? Did the neighbors see the child sleeping in a garage, sleeping on a bed? Did it have sheets? Did it have covers? What about heat? See, these are things nobody asks. You just listen to somebody talk, but you don't ask no damn questions. Well, did you see a heater? Did it look, because I don't know what to think. Seth Rogers, when you last went to the house, did you see the child's room? Did it look like he slept in his room? See, these are things you need to know. But Seth doesn't seem to be in tune to his child, so you're not going to get any answers from him about what the hell was going on at the Proudfoot's house, and they're definitely not going to tell you the truth. Mr. Proudfoot is only telling you what the hell he wants you to know. And what he's telling you so far is very ugly and vile, and this one leads me to believe also, once again, that the child is no longer alive. Because now the child, he can't defend himself. And a dead man ain't never defended himself. Stay woke. That's the job of the living. And what did I tell you yesterday in my live streams? You talk about the dead, you'll talk about the living. Think about it. How easy is it to talk about the dead? Because you know they're not going to quit back. They're not going to respond. I'm not going to tell you I killed the kid, but I'll tell you why I killed the kid. He was a nuisance. He was a burden. He's using the bathroom on himself. He's messing up my house, my bed, my linen. I pay for that. I'm the breadwinner of this house that he stays in. Pay attention to the details. Did the child wander off? Did the child succumb to the elements? Did the child run out? Did the child have a fight with the parents? Was Mr. Proudfoot there at the house? Was there an altercation? Did somebody hurt the child, beat up the child, discarded the child through the drive garage where you can't see, put in a tub, plastic bag, tote, and took out into the elements and discarded by Katie Proudfoot and or Mr. Proudfoot and or other relatives, since you all love throwing the other relatives in there.
How is it, Katie, that you think you're with just Mr. Wonderful and this dude is coming across to the world like he is? And you don't mind him making you guys look bad like that? Any normal woman would have left him by now. Not one. Especially when Chris has a little secret he gets to hold over your head. And guess what he gets to do in his spare time, little Katie? Torture you with the secrets to get the things that he wants. Guess whose turn it is to rub his back tonight?
Well, interesting, Mr. A.D. says secrets. So is Christopher holding secrets over her head? What might those be? Just curious. What did you have in mind, A.B., in the secret department? What did I tell you about Mr. Teletubby? I think he's a Weinstein. Only thing he can do is perform fellatio. He probably can't do much of anything else. Probably don't got nothing down there. So it's a wonder how Faith came to be. Shut your mouth, Queen. I said that. What is it that you're in love with, Katie Proudfoot? His whip appeal. I can't, Satan. When they said the Satan is a liar and a thief, they meant that. He's got a wicked tongue, girl. Is that what you tell your girlfriends about Mr. Proudfoot? He's got a wicked tongue? I'm just saying. Please don't mind me.
Everything from now on, if you catch my drift. Now let's go take a quick listen to this.
Following are paraphrased questions and responses from Seth after a polygraph was conducted. What is your theory of what happened to your son, Sebastian? What did Seth say?
He explained to me that Sebastian was routinely taking a sleep aid, and he believes that Sebastian probably wouldn't go to sleep. So his mom, Katie, overdosed him and caused his death. That's what he told me.
Wow, thank you, Nancy Grace. That's a fairly large info drop.
Yeah, it is.
That's heavy.
Was she drugging her child? Did you say something to her about it? Seth, did you say something to Katie? Why are you giving her sleeping aids? Were they prescribed sleeping aids? See, 1,000 questions. A child at that age shouldn't be taking anything to sleep. It's not a good idea. You don't want your child to start popping stuff, putting things in their bodies that they don't need. Maybe he needed a warm bath at night. Usually children get to a certain age, they like to take showers, but maybe due to his developmental state, he needed to still be taking baths. I think he probably would have been easier to fall asleep taking a bath. Make sure all devices and things are turned off. No TV, no games, no iPads. He would probably fall asleep easier. But see, you don't know how people are living. You don't know if the boy was up, wandering around, running around in the refrigerator, doing different things, being on his phone devices, looking at stuff, because out of sight is out of mind. I'm not in his room. I don't really care. So he might be up 11, 12, 1 o'clock, still awake. See, you don't know because you don't know people. And if I can see toddlers up at 1 in the morning, hear them, I can hear a 5-year-old running across the floor at 10 o'clock in the fucking night when he should be asleep. You think I'm going to sit here and believe a 15-year-old is not up when he should be in the fucking bed? Everybody don't live the same. Everybody don't navigate the same. You don't know these people. And what you see of them right now is not good. It's not good at all. Mr. Proudfoot says anything, says anything, does anything, he don't care.
Good morning, good morning, good morning, good.
Just wicked. The grandmother has spoken. She's not pleased. Sleeping aids to the child. What's the truth? Leaked audio. Not good. This is a bad situation, everybody. A very bad situation. Just bringing you the latest. Woo! I need some water. Sinus is acting up. I've been outside today. Ugh. All this stuff floating in the air. Got in my throat. Sorry about that. Looking at Mr. Proudfoot's Facebook page. He's got weird stuff on here. A Ronald Reagan meme. Then he's got this other one. Let them create their own version of you. Then it says, I'll send you a free guide on how to build a $1 a month business using faceless profile when you comment. So some of you said he's been in people's chats as somebody else. That was 3 days ago. Then he's got this other meme up here about, whoa, death, someone would pray. Could you wait to call me another day? Just a lot of nonsense. But nothing about Sebastian Rogers. Last time he posted something, April 15th. And it is now May 10th. So what does that tell you? He's not in tune to the little boy missing. Another meme. The truth is always quiet. It's the lies that are loud. Well, you've been loud. So basically you're talking about yourself. Okay? Mr. Proudfoot, you posted this nonsense April 15th. This is what he says. So many people need to read and let it soak in. The truth is always quiet. It's the lies that are loud. Well, you're basically talking about yourself, Mr. Proudfoot, because you're the only one on YouTube doing the most talking and hollering and screaming and fussing and cussing, leaked audios of you cussing, calling people bitches and cowards. So this meme you posted up a month ago is basically you talking about yourself. The louds are always the loudest. The lies are always the loudest. That's what you've been doing. You've been spinning lies. So basically you're talking about yourself. See, my daddy always told me that. Let them talk long enough, they'll tell on themselves. You can learn a lot by listening. So right here on your own meme that you shared, the truth is quiet, always quiet. It's the lies that are loud. Bravo. You just spoke about yourself. You're the loudest one on YouTube with a missing child, stepson. You've done nothing to act like you care about him or search for him, you and Mrs. Proudfoot. Mrs. Proudfoot. So basically you're telling us you have not been truthful because the truth is always quiet. It's the lies that are loud. Wow. Told on yourself and didn't even realize it. And stop posting these stupid memes to your Facebook page. It's a waste of time. I'm not gonna hold you all, but I want to play a little bit of the content pertaining to the grandmother from AB's channel, Nancy Grace nonsense from Mr. Mathis bashing her, that she told information that she shouldn't have said, of Mr. Seth, saying negative things about the Proudfoots. I don't see these people working out. I don't see these people getting along. I don't see any of that happening. I just don't. There was something else I wanted to play. Hold on. Then I'm gonna leave. So I gotta get me some water in me. This pollen and stuff flying around is horrible here. And I've been out all day. Exactly. Bingo. Thanks for taking the polls, everybody.
The premiere. Thought I was going to kick my shoes off and make some coffee, but here I am back. As you can see, we're over at the live stream with Terry Lynn. She has an interesting situation she's presenting. It's called Trigger Warning. CP threatens investigators. CP being Chris Proudfoot. I got no idea right now. I haven't heard it. But I've heard it's a telephone conversation and Chris is all fired up talking about something about web salutes and giving away information and playing how dare you and all of this stuff. Oh, just what we needed. Now let's hold on. Let's go back and check it out.
Stickers, everything. I appreciate everything. Here we go. Go back to this. I'm sure I got you clean up real good.
Chris is all wound up about something. People, I'm just going by what people are how people are reacting in chats. It's just making me giggle a little bit. He's throwing off at the handle.
I do appreciate all the support. When you're out here, it gets a little rough.
Well, stay out those streets. Shit. Damn. Stay out the YouTube streets. So ridiculous.
She said Katie's mom's name? We do have the information, but
oh dear.
I have no idea. I don't know what was said.
Ooh. I can't, he's so mad I can't even make out what he's saying. You
I can't either. I can't hear a word he's saying.
Yourself,
I don't know what he's talking about.
Make your voice changer up.
He's upset. He'll be all right. He'll be just fine.
I think he's really mad about Robin Rogers saying that, posting that on the internet, and everybody talking about it. Oh, breaking the case. Breaking the case. Why would you be upset about what Grandma Rogers has to say about you? Because she's not willing to be pushed around and bullied like you're doing on this phone. And think about what Sebastian went through under Chris's roof. This is how Chris would have treated Sebastian. Listen to how angry Chris is.
All right, let's see if this is better.
I don't know what's going on there. I can't really hear. His side of the conversation is a little squeaky, so I'm not really sure what's being said.
Is this better? If this ain't better, is this better?
Thank you all for joining me. Thank you.
This is not for kids, but is this better? Okay. Let's pray that when I play this, that y'all get there.
I gotta get out of here. I've been on too long.
Now y'all know why I work on these two phones. So here we go. Oh gosh, and thank you all. I can't see everything. Thank y'all for the memberships, the stickers, everything.
Has anybody ever thought about Has anybody ever thought about giving Chris a drug test, the parents, Katie and Chris? Testing,
Wow.
maybe, who knows, they've got some sort of weird, crazy drug habit on the DL.
I appreciate everything.
Very interesting.
Here we go.
Very interesting. AB asked that question. Are these? Excuse me, tongue tied. Are these people dopers? Proudfoots? Do they take some type of drugs? Do they occasionally smoke a little marijuana, pop a little gummies, hit a little meth, fentanyl, pop some pills? What's the 411? I'm curious. Okay, Laura. I gotta get some dinner. I haven't had food all day. I mean, I haven't had a hamburger, snack, potato chips, because I ran out of here to go run around fooling with Wally World. Please check out my community page. Show you the quilts I bought from Wally World. Got them on sale today for $4 each. I had to get me 2. For that price, you can't beat that, $4. But anyway, just want to bring you a little commentary from Mr. AB. He's playing somebody else's content. This woman has been dealing with Mr. Proudfoot, and I think it's time that everybody leaves them alone. And Mr. Proudfoot, he needs to leave these YouTubers alone, because this is what happens when you go down in the belly of the beast. You come back up mangy. And maybe some of you were mangy when you went in. How about that?
Back to this. I'm sure I got you covered real good.
Hey, baby. I gotta eat something myself. Oh my God, I'm gonna pass out.
Really yesterday. So I don't know what's up there.
Oh, Chris isn't going to be so pleasant next time if she doesn't find out a way to fix whatever the heck it is he's talking about at this point in time. You're going to bring the cops with you and do what? Stop your cowboy boots?
Right.
Oh, get on a temper tantrum?
Alright, well, I'll talk to her. Are you
Trigger warning. I don't know. I think it's cool.
Ooh, it's nasty.
Do you think he's talking about that gal that offered to bring those 7 dogs up, all of those different trainings, and she was on the Web Sleuths panel? Or is he talking about, is her name Chloe? It's from Social Justice or Justice Warriors Investigations, the one that he talked over up on Web Sleuths panel that he was up there with.
I can't see Chloe just giving out that information.
This is not Seth at all. This is not Seth.
Yeah, let me say that. I'm glad she said something about that. Obviously, somebody in her chat thought that was Seth. When I first heard the audio, I thought it was Seth. Their voices are kind of similar. I didn't know it was Chris talking at first, till he kept talking, and I said, oh, that's Chris. But when I first heard the audio, I thought it was Seth talking. So imagine that. Stay woke.
Not at all. This is not Seth. This is...
So she was We're gonna have to go find that now. Oh, we got another video. Anyway,
leave that mess alone, AB.
Something that happened
People
up on
stupid.
panel that started everything else, because of course it's everybody else's fault in this situation, isn't it?
Exactly.
You see how this goes. He'll be putting a lot of blame on people from here on in, I think.
Should YouTubers stop talking to Chris Proudfoot? Take the poll. Yes, 88%, no, 12%. Now it's 89, yes, 11%, no. You all are up and down. What's the truth? Hello, everybody in the chat. Thank you for joining me. I'm trying to get where I can get it better, where I can hear.
Because I have no real baseline or gauge to understand what you're even talking about. You know, it's bizarre, but it's funny at the same time. I haven't heard this before, so I'm discovering as we're going. It's a bit of a different pace. Usually I've heard it 2 or 3 times and I'm commenting on it, but we're just hearing it together.
Because I know neither her or I have given out any of Katie's information.
It's not giving it out. All you have to do is start in a sentence. I have the information. I'm not going.
So y'all can't hear it. Y'all can hear that?
I guess.
These people make me sick.
Good enough. It's not Dolby surround sound by any means, but it's all right. Gives it more of that pirate flavor.
Check out AB's latest videos. All this is ridiculous. All this is ridiculous. Well, AB, it's nothing but garbage. That's all this nonsense is. I'm trying to see if I can find. I know who I'm looking for. Play a little bit of it, then I'm out of here because I really don't keep playing this nonsense. Because like I said, I'm the only one that's gonna cuss on this network. And he's just went off calling these people all these nasty names, just ridiculous. But now people know who Christopher Proudfoot is. So there shouldn't be any misunderstandings at this point. If you don't know who he is by now, then you just don't know. Oh, frozen pizza? That's what I had last night. Okay. Let me see. Let me see. Hold on. This is the real Mr. Proudfoot.
I release it. She started a fucking fire shitstorm.
What was the purpose of making that statement, knowing fully that Tim could have well that
Trust me. Seth could have his fucking PIs. I don't need PIs.
See, and actually, as we're speaking,
that sends me all this shit for no fucking reason.
as we're speaking, I just got a message from a web sleuther that I don't even know. I don't even know their name. They go under a pseudonym, and they're sending me a picture of Katie's mom, and I don't know how they found that out. Like, I didn't tell. They're telling me, like, I don't know. So, like, these web sleuthers, like, I mean, they are like that shit 99.9% of the time, but they're pretty good at finding shit. And some of these people are just doing it on their own.
Years ago. That's one thing.
Yeah.
She opened her mouth, made a statement. She's the cow. Sorry. Fell.
Yeah. All right. Well, yeah, it was the wrong Penny Payne, but
Or me, or anybody else.
Well,
and it was more my protection, then that's what I truly feel.
Yeah, I feel you. I hear you.
You know,
Yeah,
I don't care. Sorry. Yeah. I promise you, go back and watch that fucking video in order to put her out.
Mm.
she ain't got the fucking audacity to give me a working fucking phone number. She better not fucking reach out to me. And then Google shit ain't a fucking true number.
Yeah, that's the same number that Seth has, though. I will tell you.
Yeah, I'm not Seth.
Yeah.
I have the balls and the fucking spine to call people out on shit.
Yeah.
I'm not a fucking
Just don't take it personal, because she doesn't give her personal phone number out to anybody. I mean, like, only, you know, like, I had it from, like, a previous case that we worked together. But she's very private about her personal information. So, I don't know. Anyway, I don't know what to say. I feel bad. Like, I know Chloe, and I know that she's not, you know, that's not her style. But I mean, I get it.
Maybe her head's so fucking twisted because she's too emotionally involved or personal involvement with Seth. I don't fucking know. And I'm not saying relationship.
Yeah, no.
I didn't say that.
No.
But whatever the fuck it is, she better goddamn fucking figure it out and redial her.
I'm gonna leave it right there. I'm gonna say this and I'm gonna check out of here because I started off in a little bit of light. Now it's evening time. The first part of this live stream is pertaining to Adam Montgomery. He's been accused of killing his daughter, Harmony Montgomery. He got 56 years in court yesterday, plus the 32 and a half years from his gun charges from last year's sentencing. Kayla Montgomery will be getting out of penitentiary this month. When I get that said information, I'll bring you that update. Please check my polls for all said updates, news, briefs, polls, so on and so forth. Second part of this live is pertaining to Sebastian Roberts. He is still missing out of West Tennessee, Hendersonville. No updates, no suspects mentioned, a lot of hoopla on YouTube, a lot of he said, she said gossip. This is my advice to anybody. Learn how to stay in your lane. You don't want your name out here in nonsense. Just stay in your lane. I don't feel sorry for anybody involved in this storyline for the very and obvious reason. You put yourself in this bullshit. So that means you like trouble, you like drama. You see, the one thing some of you need to understand is that all content isn't good content. It's good for a couple of laughs. You're laughing at the people like, what the hell's wrong with these people? They're stupid, they're ignorant. But the one thing nobody's focusing on is this is about a child. This is about a child missing, 15. A child was missing in the holler, 5 years old, still missing. Right now, she'd be 8 years old. See, stay woke. You go in the abyss and then you complain once you're in there. Mr. Proudfoot, you went to YouTube because you had something to prove. Now you got a problem with everybody. You got a problem with Seth. You got a problem with this person. You got a problem with the PIs. You got a problem with this. See, everybody's turning on each other. Now, Seth had PIs. He fired them. Then he go get these two. Then one of them steps back because of the picture generated. Now we hear the picture's not truth. It's fraudulent. You don't hear no more about who's involved. Anything going to come from that legally. Now, Mr. Mathis, he's crying about Nancy Grace. But Nancy Grace just had you up on her show talking about the case. And now you're saying, oh, well, Nancy, you weren't supposed to say what Seth said about the Proudfoots. But like somebody said, AB, you already put it out there anyway. So she's going to always recap on what has been said. Every news agent does that. They repeat what has been said in a case. That's what they're supposed to do. Because there's always somebody that's going to come in on a story that's never heard the story. So they have to recap people. Now, maybe she intentionally did it. Maybe she didn't. I don't know. I don't really care at this point. This is when I become frustrated with all this he said, she said, and mudslinging. So, Seth, how do you feel about everything that's been done? How do you feel about your relationship with the Proudfoots, number one? Are you really engaging with the Proudfoots, sir? What the fuck happened with your last PIs? What happened with this last PI, Heather, Chloe? Are they working for you, not working for you? Everybody's saying they ain't doing it for the money, ain't in for the money. Well, what you doing it for then? Mr. Mathis, oh, I'm spending my own money. Well, what do you do for a living to stay in a hotel every damn day? I'll wait. Just saying. Seth needs a PR person, obviously, because he's going back to work. So he needs somebody to navigate for him. But is this man the right person? I didn't want to say anything bad about Mr. Mathis because I let stuff just play out sometimes. I don't always jump on board when everybody else starts ragging on a person. But now that you're crying and talking bad about Nancy Grace, when she extended the olive branch and let you come up there on her show, now I'm getting a little bit leery of you. Because what has been put out into the universe, that's between these people. There's nothing you can do about that, Mr. Mathis. So you should have Nancy Grace's personal phone number to call her directly and say, hey, homegirl, I need to talk to you. You're not supposed to be saying anything bad about the Proudfoots that Seth said, because he's trying to stay on an even keel with these people because the boy and all the things playing out. But what you got to remember is when you go run to social media, you got to get what you got to accept what comes with talking on social media. Okay? Yes, Bandit. I agree. So you go run to social media. X, IG, Facebook, YouTube, you start talking, ranting, raving, you should know something's going to come with that, especially when you give a name. Now, you talking in circles and you don't mention the name, it's up to the person listening to interpret it and decide if they think they know who you're talking about. Do you understand what I'm saying? And they still go back and spread it and say, hey, I think they're talking about Bob over there, or Joe, or Mary. And then that spins into something. All of this is wicked. All this fabrication of photographs of Sebastian in North Carolina, the woman and husband that took the picture, we don't even know who they are, what they look like. The woman who says it's a picture of her and her son. That's even more creepy because the picture really looks more like Sebastian. And then when I saw her son, okay, he favors him, but they still got some features that are different. I don't know what the hell is going on. I don't know if it's just a dirty game of people wanting to get involved and get attention. Because as I told the commenter, why would somebody want to say that's their son? Put their son on blast and then say, oh yeah, that's me in the picture with my son if they kidnapped the boy. That doesn't make any sense. So now you're implicating yourself in a crime by saying, oh yeah, that's me and my son in the picture. Because I told the person, what are you saying? The woman went and kidnapped the boy that looks like her own son? This is stupid. I've had enough. I've had enough. This is where I draw the line. I don't know what's going on with Seth. I don't know if he's actually mentally equipped to handle this situation. That's why I put that in a poll. I don't know who's involved because as many people have said, detectives, law enforcement, Coffin Daffer, you could have it wrong. The Proudfoots don't look good. So they're the obvious people to point the finger at because they have disappeared from the scene. He only stays on social media ranting and raving and putting up stupid memes on his damn Facebook page, talking in circles and riddles and shit. But it could just be they were bad parents, but they didn't have nothing to do with the boy's disappearance. Are we wrong? Now, there's still some people out there that believe they're innocent. Some of you believe the child did walk away, succumb to the elements. But what you got to ask yourself is, why would he run away? Why would he walk away? If he ain't known to run, then why would he choose that day? Many people said it from the beginning. Well, if he ain't known to run, why would he run that day? Why would he leave? Well, the daddy comes in. Well, he wouldn't go without no shoes, blah, blah, blah. Then you all keep going on and on about this fucking phone call. Please stop. Just stop. Oh, they talked for 3 hours. Oh my God, I don't know how to make people understand. Why are you dwelling on that? Help me understand. Why do you keep dwelling on a fucking 3-hour phone call when you don't know what happened? Thank you, Ellen. Damn. It's like Donald Wells and Candace Bly all over again. Well, he said CPS came by and blah, 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 and Mary said that he touched her and da-da-da-da-da. Oh my goodness, it's like being in a fucking fishbowl listening to this bullshit. You don't know nothing about these people. You don't know nothing about Sebastian. You don't know nothing but the versions they're giving you. So if you believe these people hurt the boy, what the fuck are you listening and believing about a fucking 3-hour phone call? Ding, 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 ding. Please, please, use your head. Stop dwelling on stuff that you don't have a receipt to. See, I don't dwell on stuff like that. I didn't do it with Summer Wells. I'm not going to do it here. Because you have already lied Stay woke. The parents have already lied in their commentary about what happened. That's why Mr. Proudfoot is an orchestrator on YouTube. The mother has added different things into the story per different people she's talked to. The news, YouTubers, blah, 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 Olivia, all this bullshit. If you're paying attention, you can see through that. One day you say this happened, the next time you talk to somebody, you hear a thud, but you never mentioned that the first time. And what do I always tell you about a story being spent? What they told law enforcement probably ain't nowhere near what they told you all up here on YouTube. Damn, you don't see through that? I said the same thing with somewhere else. You don't know what they told law officials in Robertsville. TBI. Why do you think Candace changed her version? Why do you think when she did the news interview, she said, oh, I don't like bears and coyotes? That lady didn't ask her nothing about no bears and no coyotes. You all didn't even pay attention to that. Some of you did. I read right through that. Because she knows what she's told the dispatch and the police. Okay? So let me go ahead and clear it up before somebody else mentions it. See, you all aren't paying attention. You have no idea what Mr. Proudfoot and Katie has told law officials about February 25th. You don't know what she added, took away. 2, you don't know how many times she's talked to law officials. You don't know if her versions have changed with law officials. Common sense should tell you, yes, her versions have changed. Because if you did it on the news and YouTube, you did it with the police. Checkmate. That's why she doesn't talk. That's why the orchestrator of the good news is Mr. Proudfoot. The person who allegedly wasn't there, away in Memphis, Mississippi, wherever. You have no proof that he was down there February 25th or 26th. 3 hours is not a long drive if you like driving. You have no video surveillance of the child, that's been said. So pay attention. So this is why I'm confused. Seth says he saw video footage of the child coming out the restaurant with the mother. So what is the police talking about? We don't have video footage of him near the house or none that weekend. Because see, you have to clarify what you mean when you say no CCTV footage. None whatsoever of the boy child the whole weekend at the house, near the house, and out in the street. Oh, help me understand. Because as I said before, if there's no video surveillance of the little boy out that weekend, then that means Seth didn't tell the truth that he saw her come out with the boy from the restaurant. Ding! So law officials need to clarify no surveillance. Why? At the house or altogether? Because I take it as no surveillance means I don't have him on camera nowhere. Is this a hoax? I'm going to go ahead and ask it again. Because I was going to put that in my title the other day, but then the news broke about the picture, so it was perfect timing. But I want to go ahead and ask it. Is this a hoax? Is the boy child, number one, alive somewhere and somebody's doing this for attention? Are these people pretending to like each other, not like each other, fighting in public for what? I don't know, because that wouldn't make no sense. Or is the child dead? The Proudfoots got rid of him. He was a burden. He was a problem. Mr. Proudfoot is telling the world how he really feels about his son, his stepson, and they unalived the child and buried him somewhere. Or did Seth go in and do something to the child, took the child, got rid of the child, had help? I don't know. But I know he's not in tune like he should be. But then the flip side of that could be he knows a lot that's going on with these people, and he just don't want to tell the whole truth to everything because he knows it would break the internet, like Chris said. people would be mortified. Because as they say, imagine what you don't know. So with all the things that you're hearing by Mr. Proudfoot, ugly things about Sebastian, bedwetting habits, and wearing a diaper, imagine what you don't know. Imagine what was really going on in the Proudfoot's house. Imagine how everybody was talking and interacting with one another. And now you have this leaked audio of him cussing and fussing and worrying about Seth's PIs and who said what, insinuated what. That's the same person that would be in that house with a 15-year-old autistic kid. Same person that probably talking to the boy like a dog and talking to Katie Proudfoot the same way. You want me to believe he talked like this on a fucking phone call and he ain't cussing a little boy out and he ain't cussing Katie Proudfoot out? Hell yeah. He does this with everybody. Thank you for your time. Like, share, drop your comments below. Subscribe if this is your first time viewing. I'll bring you more commentary pertaining to this case as I get the said information. Will there be another search for Sebastian Rogers? If so, who will be conducting the search and what debacle will come from that? This is a sad, pathetic case of a lot of meddling people. And when you have people meddling and bullying, that's a sign, usually, of foul play. That's why the child hasn't popped up. That's why there's no CCTV footage of the child, because the child is out of sight, out of mind, permanently. And you ain't gonna get nothing unless somebody slips up. So what do LE have on this case? Anything against the parents? Do they have suspects? If so, are the parents suspects? Seth, Katie, and Chris, and anybody else? And the one thing I can say from that case out west in Oklahoma, you really can't say that people can't go along with murder, because it happened out there, it can happen here. And we have seen people who have told people of their plans to murder. People have helped aid in some form or fashion. People have been right there when the crime took place, and people have also hid them out in their homes, bought them burner phones, gave them cash, took them across state lines to get to somewhere, plane, train, automobile, rented a house for them. So it can happen. It has happened. Are there other people involved in this disappearance of a boy child? If indeed the child was unalived by one of these parents, or all 2, 3, whatever, did they get other relatives to help? Because you all keep going on and on about that too, just dragging other people into this case. See, that's how rumors get started. That's why somebody went digging up shit about Katie's parents, mother, whoever, and got the shit wrong. This is why you cannot listen to gossip. Oh, they say her mama did this, essay, and then find out it's the wrong lady. See what I'm saying? Some of you don't need to be watching true crime. You don't need to watch it. You don't need to talk about it. You don't need to comment on it. And you YouTubers, some of you don't need to be talking about it either, because you're part of the fucking problem as well. You're clickbait. You're no different than the foreigners that put up stuff like it's the Housewives of Atlanta episode 13, woo woo, and then when you turn it on, it ain't nothing but a bunch of people talking about a movie trailer. It's the same bullshit. Know your content creator, because I'm gonna be truthful, a lot of the content creators, or let's just say YouTubers, they are part of the problem as well, because they're help aiding the bullshit. They're aiding the shit that's already fucked up. It's bad enough a child is missing. And you putting out shit that's not truthful, not factual, no receipt, for likes and views, and you're help aiding somebody like Christopher Proudfoot spin the web. So you can't judge Christopher, and Christopher can't judge the YouTuber. You all are evenly yoked. That's facts. If you'd like to donate to this great network, $Angie, 129 Cash App. Stickers and chats are always welcome during the live stream. Thank you for your time. God bless all of you. Have a wonderful weekend. You've been listening to the Vault XL. Thank you.